Hello, and before you get started on this episode of Zapped to the Past, we would just like to give a massive shout out to the following people: Andy Marsh, Cole Hutchinson, David Hearn, Sven Oser, 2000 DC, Gary Heather, Roger McNally, Lee Dove, Ben Granville, Mark Fletcher, Etienne Veddingfeld, Niall Bullitt, Alexander Gosling, Tim TJ Walker, Phil Sowerby, Joshua K, Dominic Kendrick, Rune P, Nick James, Daniel Spreadbury, Peter Price, Richard Davey, Dennis B, AL82 Retro, Liam Carew, Dylan Dart, Alistair McMillan, Dan Wales, Gary Wilson, Oscar Jacobson, Brian Howarth, Clyde Radcliffe, Adam Askew, Leo Staples, Jason Hutchins, David Stringer, David Winter, Mike's Vintage Tech, John Ebbs, Runester71, Pete Muller, Samuel Hodgson, and Deadlock. These amazing people have backed our Patreon C64 tier. The support they offer is just plain awesome. If you want to join them, get a mention in next month's shout-out, access to our Discord server, early access to ad-free episodes, along with any special releases we put out, along with anything else we can think of, and sign up by the 18th of the month at patreon.com/Zap to the Past, God's sake. Zap to the Past, for probably less than the price of a pint of beer, and maybe next time I'll get it all right. Now, on with the show. And welcome to episode 213 of Zapped to the Past. I am Adrian Mills. I'm joined as always by Mr. Graham Raddings. If you haven't listened before, this is a podcast where we discuss games that were released for the Commodore 64. Last time, we looked at our first batch of games from issue 85 of Zap 64, which we are, of course, in no way affiliated with, and got all slimy in Steg the Slug. Didn't become James Bond, honest gov, in Secret Agent Sly Spy, and blew up a load of bases and planes and ground targets in Black Hornet. This week, we conclude our look at the games in June 1992, along with what was lighting up our TV and cinema screens that month. Graham, last time out, it was an unusually positive turn-up in the quality of games on offer. Does our luck hold out for another week?
It's the final part of June 1992, a month with a few flimsy film releases, some even more flimsy TV releases, and of course a few more games to add to the why on earth did they bother pile. Yes, while there are some good ones, there are also of course some that are not so good. So the rough with the smooth, if you will. So in a month where Welsh singer Tom Jones would headline the Glastonbury Music Festival in the UK, we get to the chopper, avoid pushing too many pencils, and stick around as we head to the 8-bit jungle rebel camps on a mission to gun everything down in the Commando-inspired Arnie. And then after that, we see how well US Gold can ruin another popular arcade experience by taking everything great from it and rubbing the rest in dog turd. Ah yes, it's the giddy unfinished world of G-Loc. At least we can rely on Chris Butler to turn in the goods when he needs to. Lots of shooting and sprites, the classic C64 formula. Was that his last C64 venture? Well, maybe, but thankfully at least we have a Chris Butler game for June 1992 to save the day. So while we wonder if Chris Butler could code a sprite multiplexer in his sleep, we head over to the grey, lifeless beaches of, well, I don't know, somewhere probably in Italy, maybe, as we grab our ball and head out into the dirt for some bumping and spiking in Over the Net. We cautiously welcome the return of a certain sports management-obsessed publishing company and once again see if they can turn out anything that has more than text and tables in the semi-interesting Soccer Rivals before we finally head to a familiar place, the realm of the crappy Spectrum conversion. On this occasion, we get to experience a lumpy bag of bad animation hump around some mostly transparent high-res awfulness in the dreary Seymour Goes to Hollywood. I don't know much about Hollywood, but I do know that in the early 90s, Seymour would have been about as welcome as a truckload of dead rats in a tampon factory. It's been a trying month as June 1992, and I may finally be cracking up. You be the judge. Roll those dice. Roll those dice.
One never knows, does there? You never know.
No, you don't. You never know. You never can tell. It's always a roll of the dice. Those tricky 8-bit dice. Oh, those pesky dice.
Or those invisible dice as they are, weirdly, this week. Those dice you never see. It's the dice.
I always think of it.
It's like jazz dice. It's the dice you don't see.
For me, it's like trying to roll a D4 when you was in Dungeons and Dragons. There's a technique to that, isn't there? But it's not really rolling it, more kind of doing the upside down flipperoo. But there you go.
And I always found it odd sort of thing. I never understood with the D4, right, why it was the number that wasn't present that was the result. Why not just have the number?
Yeah.
Why don't you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and you lift it up and it said 1. If you lift it up and it says, it's 2, 3, 4. Oh, so it's 1. Why this added math?
Yeah,
imagine if a normal dice had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on it, and you're like, oh, it's 6 because it's 6 is missing. Why does the D4 get this special treatment?
Must be something to do with the mathematics of it, I suppose. I never liked the idea of there being a D4. I'm like, just no. It's like, you got to roll the D1. Well, how do I do that? I don't know.
It's just
think of a number.
I suppose the D4 is the lowest it can go, isn't it? Because I imagine if you could go lower, those pesky D&D creators would have gone lower. There would be a D3 and a D2.
Imagine a D3. How would that work? I don't want to think about it. I don't.
It would be flat, wouldn't it? You'd have to look on the edge.
It'd just be easy to do 1 potato, 2 potato in the middle of the dungeon, I think.
Yeah, rock, scissors.
I've still got a collection of Dungeons and Dragons dice, by the by. I've still got them. And every now and again, a D20 just turns up in a draw. I'm like, where did that even come from? But I suppose that's the chance, isn't it? Every 20 times I open that drawer, exactly, that's going to be there. It's how the D20 works. It always appears in a drawer when you least expect it, because that's the D20. That's its power.
It is as well. And also as well, the weird way you had to roll percentages by rolling the D10 twice, once for the tens and once for the units.
Yeah, I don't know. They might have changed those. We might be talking old school rules here. Goodness me, they might have changed them all. You need a Dungeons and Dragons expert, which we don't have currently to hand.
No, but go by the old style things. So apologies we weren't here last week.
Just stuff.
It was we were in different parts of the world and we could not sort of calibrate time differences. We can do a lot of things, but we just can't. We can't bend time.
We tried. So, we nearly did, but then it just worked out that it was not going to work out. So I couldn't do it.
So because Graham was in the nearly northwest of America, weren't you?
Yes, I was. Yes,
and I was obviously still at home, so that's quite a time difference.
It was quite a hike, to say the least. Yes, it was.
But
it was quite cold.
I understand that on the way out there, you enjoyed the small Anne Bernick machine that I lent you.
Yes, Anne Bernick. Yes, good. Many times people are. I'll tell you what. Like 3 things happened actually on that trip to do with that console.
Mm-hmm.
So, firstly, yes, I realised that on a handheld multi retro game console thing that has how many games on that thing? Thousands, right? At least
probably. Yeah.
I ended up playing the same 5 main arcades that I always play every time. So I always play Neo Masters Golf. It had a really good Neo Geo emulation on it, and I quite like the Neo Geo as a sort of a arcade. It's an arcade machine in it, essentially, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I played Neo Tournament Golf, Neo Masters Golf, which I do like. On the green, I do like that. I don't know. I like golf that has music in it all the way through, like just jazz, like did that sort of that vibe. I like it. So I did that. I tried to play Sidearms on it, which was too hard. I forgot how hard Sidearms is, but on a small screen with remapped buttons, no chance. No. The Golden Axe never goes amiss. Played a few of the old classics. Dynasty Wars, Knights of the Round, and all them. I had a bit of a blast on some of them. Played, So I just did the tour of the games that I always play. Of course, I played Narc. I'm not going to play Narc on it, which was a pretty good on the emulation. That's good fun as well.
Final Fight.
Yeah, blast on Final Fight. So I played all the usual ones I like to play, but they were all emulated pretty well on that thing, it has to be said. It was good. Screen's really clear. I mean, I was impressed with it, I have to say. Battery lasts for what seems like ever. So the first thing that happened was that made the flight really nice and easy, and it was quite a long flight, 8-9 hours. Second thing that happened is that somebody spotted me with that and go, I saw you had one of those consoles. Somebody else on the flight, there was a few of us on it. Where did you get that from? So I had to then go into an explanation about it's not mine, it's my friend's, and he's lent me it because, and I've forgotten it to take it on at least 2 journeys now, which defeated the purpose of him lending me it in the first place. So this is the time to jam. Went through that, and it was like, how much did it cost? I'm like, I have no idea. I don't know the intel. I don't know the details. And it made me realise that I just borrowed an arbitrary product with no information I could give anybody of any use whatsoever.
Well, were you expecting to get quizzed about it? That's the thing. Probably not.
But I couldn't even remember the name of it. It's like, where's it from? And I imagine it's probably from Amazon or something like that. What make is it? I don't know.
I've no idea.
So I said, just go on there and Google a quick search. for like retro handhelds, which was a mistake. I shouldn't have given him that advice, because then it was like, is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it this one? No. Is it? No. It was a bit like, I was thinking, are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Can we go to Mount Splashbar? No. Can we go to Mount Splashbar? No. So it got like that. And then the third thing that happened was on the flight back, I was in the gate waiting for the boarding of the plane, and I thought I'll break out the old game, have a bit of Neo Masters on. And with that, the guy next to me, I just suddenly broke out his handheld console. And then another guy did. Another one went, yeah, I've got one of them. And it was like weird. It's like I joined some secret society of retro handhelds. And all of them were different. Yours was the only one that was like with the dual sticks. One of them was a bit more like a Game Boy with one stick. Another one was just pure D-pad. It was like a little club. All of us like. And then we started comparing game titles. Like I knew what was on your thing. And I was like, I don't know what's on it. They were like, how can you not know what's on it? I'm like, it's not mine. How come it's not yours? And then I had to go into the whole explanation again. I wasn't prepared to answer questions on it.
But it's an Anbernic. I think it's the RG40XX, which is a catchy name.
It is, yeah. I mean, I looked into it. They're really good value.
Because it's like the Vita size, isn't it? PS Vita.
Astonishingly good value for what it can do.
I think it's about 50 quid.
Some of the Dreamcast games are good on it as well. The Dreamcast emulation's pretty damn good on that. And the Resident Evil games are on there and stuff like that. And I was impressed.
I played Soul Calibur and stuff on it.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised you didn't play any Metal Slug. I
did have a go on the Metal Slug games, yeah. Like I said, I spent a bit of time in Neo Geo land. Because I love the pixel art on them, so I'm a sucker for all of that. So no, I was quietly impressed with it, I have to say, especially Neo Masters Golf. The only downside is, of course, that I couldn't get my Bluetooth headphones, my AirPods, to connect to it. It would connect to them, but it wouldn't actually, no audio would come out. I don't know what that was all about, just probably a quirk of the AirPods.
Oh, weird.
So I ended up having to plug the headphones, go into the headphone socket direct with the headphones that you get on the aeroplane, which have got two prongs. So I can only have it in one ear, but it was better than it sounding out loud and annoying the shit out of the guy who sat next to me, because it clearly was when it kept going, on the green, really loud.
You were that guy.
I was that guy. And I was like, it didn't even occur to me that it was loud until I've realised afterwards.
That guy
I was like, wow,
he's gone
loud.
home and told stories about you. There's his dickhead on the bloody plane.
Don't want to stereotype. He had a man bun. I'm like, no. And it wasn't a man bun. It was the world's tiniest little, little ponytail, like a tiny little thing it was on the top of his head. Not sure what that means about him, really. But and he also put on a film and then just went to sleep, which is really annoying. Don't do that.
What film did he watch?
Well, this is the most annoying thing, right? So I put a film on that I wanted to watch, and then he put the exact same film on about 2 minutes later. So in the corner of my eye, I could see like the first same film that I was just watching, but 2 minutes ago.
What would have been good is if the other person on your row put it on 2 minutes after. So it's like a round. You have a round of this film.
I can't tell you how distracting it is to see the exact same thing you've just seen, but 2 minutes later, it's like,
that would be really bad though for him, because surely he's gotten everything spoiled.
Well, he fell asleep, so he wasn't even watching it.
Oh, I'd have just turned it off. I'd have reached over and turned it off.
I was going to do that, but I thought that's not airplane etiquette, is it? I can't do that.
Sold airplane etiquette.
And he was farting uncontrollably as well. I was like, this guy stinks.
Well, never trust a man bun.
No, that was what I learned from my trip. Probably other stuff as well, which was cool, but that was the trip itself.
Actually, no, you can't trust man buns. Just this one, obviously, clearly was a bad bun.
I don't blame the man bun. That wasn't what controlled it.
It might have been.
I don't think it was. It could have been his antenna. For all I know.
It might have been.
Wait a minute.
Like a hypnotoad.
Wait a minute. He didn't cry because it would have explained he was an android. I should have figured that out long ago.
You really should have. If you enjoy this kind of banter, why would you not? You can join our Patreon. We have a Patreon. It's patreon.com/Zapped to the Past. You can join there. Have more of this chat on our Discord. And it's price of less than a pint of beer, for sure, unless you go to certain establishments where I might venture. Do that. And we have a Ko-fi as well, ko-fi.com/Zapped to the Past. And we have a shop, zappedtothepast.shop. If you'd like some Zapped to the Past merchandise. All that said, should we get into some games, Graham? We've got five more quality titles to look at this week. So let's get to them now. And Graham, the first one, it's over to you to tell us whether it's time to get back to the chopper, whether you'll be back in Arnie.
Yes, I think it's more get to the chopper, not get back to the chopper, although, fair enough. I don't know.
It's up and
Arnie. Or by Adam. It's Arnie, isn't it? Arnie. It's a little nod, isn't it, to Arnold Schwarzenegger, really, isn't it? Commando-esque.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
And this was published by Zeppelin back in the day. £3.99, £3.99 budget, a budget game. 83% in Zap. So not an unhealthy score for them. But we know their scores are meaningless generally, but it's an indicator.
Yeah.
This was coded by the one and only master of space-age guitar. No, that's Steve Vai. I was going to call him Commando Chris then. I don't know why. Maybe he goes Commando. I don't know.
Maybe he does.
It's Chris Butler, who also coded, of course, Commando, Ghosts and Goblins, Power Drift, Turbocharge. No, he's no slouch. He's been around a while. We've been looking at Chris Butler games since we really began this podcast in one way or another, haven't we? All the way through.
Yeah.
So this is
Zed, Hyper Circuit.
Zed, yeah, exactly. He's done loads. He did the graphics for this as well in combination with David Taylor. Now, he's the guy that did Blinky's Scary School and Neighbours. Remember the Neighbours game?
Yeah. Oh, an isometric look.
Experienced in the world of isometric graphic drawing. Handy. That is, isn't it, to do that?
Yeah.
And he also did the title screen as well, which wasn't bad. It was a kind of an 8-bit Commando variant, wasn't it? The film Commando more than the game Commando. So it was all right. Yeah. All right. It did all right. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great.
No, who dares wins.
So I found a translation. Well, I found a version of the back of the box, but it was in, I think, Polish. Anyway, I threw it into ChatGPT because I like to do that. And this is what it said it says. Now, I don't know that my Polish, maybe you do, maybe this is right, but this is what it says. It says, mission briefing. Arnie receives a mission to be carried out in an enemy base. It is a one-man mission. No prisoners are to be taken. If capture is threatened, liquidation procedures are to be applied. Arnie is dropped by helicopter into enemy territory. His task is to infiltrate, eliminate General Giro. To survive, Arnie must avoid enemy fire and kill all hostile soldiers. Killing a red soldier allows Arnie to obtain a more powerful weapon. During the game, the following types of weapons can be collected. The A-15 Armalite rifle, Arnie's favourite weapon, and it's his standard equipment throughout the mission. The M60 light machine gun, a light weapon with high firepower. The RPG-7 rocket launcher, a heavy launcher with a wide blast radius. That's also the description of one of your farts in the 80s.
Thanks.
And the FT-25 flamethrower, a powerful weapon of destruction. That's the other name for your farts in the 80s.
Yeah. Arnie starts, but it's not worth it.
Just don't do it. Arnie starts the game with an Armalite and a large supply of ammunition. Each additionally collected weapon has only one magazine loaded. When the magazine is empty, Arnie returns to his Armalite. Okay? Arnie starts the game with 3 lives. He also gains an extra life for every 10,000 points. After losing a life, Arnie flashes. Ooh. Don't want to go around doing that. Get arrested.
Get to the chopper.
Look at my chopper. Which means he is temporarily invulnerable to enemy attacks. If all lives are lost, then the game ends and it's all over with, isn't it? Good luck, Arnie. Victory is within reach. It's within reach, Adrian. So that's the blurb translated. It didn't do a bad old job, did it? Didn't do a bad old job. There was another version of the instructions, which on the Lemon page, when these are much shorter, it just says, and I don't know where this is from, and I've tried to find it, no idea. It says, Arnie crouched behind a rotting tree stump and shouldered his AK-47 rifle. Weirdly, he doesn't have one of them in the game, but okay. He pulled a matte black laser night sight from his hip pack and brought it to his eyes. In the flickering lime display, he could see tripwires, a fortified machine gun nest, and several lean, watchful guards. Why notice that they were lean? They're so lean, those guards. Oh, they're so lean. They're going to be tricky because they're so lean. Anyway, they were obviously expecting visitors, but they weren't expecting Arnie. Piece of cake, he muttered. I'm pretty sure that's not how he talks, but okay.
No.
And it says, operational briefing. One mission split over a complex enemy base camp. All operations are covert and outside normal UN security force jurisdiction. He's a member of the UN. This is one-man mission. No prisoners can be taken. An operative to begin termination procedures in case of imminent capture. So there you go. That's the blurbs. There you go. The blurbs. It's a very simple game, this, isn't it? It's not. We're not talking complicated shenanigans here.
No.
No, it's a Commando variant. It's isometric Commando, but you can't call it that because that sounds dead unexciting and boring. So there we go. Once the game starts, and this is a decent. What you've got is a decent Commando. I don't know. I guess a Commando film Arnie-inspired loading screen, like I said, and then a simple enough Commando game-inspired title screen to kick things off. It's missing music, though, isn't it? It's a bit of a killer blow. That
very much so.
There's no music for this at all, and it badly needs it. Oh, it needs it. So I actually tried playing this with Hubbard's Commando music in the background, and it was actually amazingly, instantly better straight away.
So did I.
And I also tried it with Galway's Rambo music as well. Again. better, much better. So the game then, once you get past the start, you'll kick things off. So you get the simple Arnie screen. It looks a little bit like a crap version of the Commando title screen from the arcade, but okay, it is what it is. So the game is, like I said, an isometric Commando variant, perhaps also aligning to Microprose's Airborne Ranger, maybe a little bit in that kind of view. You control Arnie with the joystick, fire to shoot. The game window is the full screen minus the bottom row, which displays the score, lives, current weapon, etc. The mission here: follow the arrows that appear on the ground, shoot everything you can, pick up any weapons that are dropped by the men in red, and use them. But always be pushing forwards, always onwards, forwards. Don't lose your lives or you die. Simple, really, isn't it? The screen scrolls in multiple directions, and along the path are multiple soldiers that will shoot at you. There are gun turrets and gun placements that will shoot at you, and tanks that will shoot at you. I think most things shoot at you or try and kill you in one way or another. Everything shoots at you. Indeed, like I said, most things do that. If you get hit by a bullet, you lose all your life, and it's game over, man, game over. And you enter the Hall of Fame with your full name. I always like to see that. I always like to see you able to enter more than 3 characters on anything, which is odd because you could have actually, if they'd have just thought, let's put 3 characters in, and then not all those characters in the high score table, that space you'd have saved with all those characters, you could have used for the music, couldn't you? Sorry, Chris, I don't mean to educate you on how to code, but you know what? There you go. You could have done that.
Could have.
So anyway, what about the game then? Well, that's principally, that's it. The game is that. No more, no less. The graphics are decent enough. Something reminiscent of an 8-bit cannon fodder, I thought, in its own way. The Amiga cannon fodder, or dare I say, 8-bit Command and Conquer. You might get away with thinking it looking a bit like that. And the old Red Alert when those... is it Natasha or whatever the name of that character is? Those levels?
Yeah.
You're a mini sprite soldier, animated enough to be clear what you are. It's quite clear, little green, commando type looking character. I thought it was perfectly serviceable. There's loads of other soldiers around as well. I think it's demonstrating again complete command of the multiplexing from Chris Butler here. No glitches, no bugs, loads of characters, loads of things running around. Who cares if you can have 8 sprites? Bah. Means nothing to Chris Butler. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's probably got 9, maybe 10. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. They're all over the place. And there's also the trees in the background, which look quite nice. Tanks, other scenery items that all look the part. It's very akin to the Rambo Commando colour scheme and aesthetic. Moves around at a decent pace too. Maybe the shooting was a little bit sluggish now and again. I don't know if that was just me, but I thought it didn't make a great deal of difference. You can only have a couple
bullets on screen, can't you?
Which is odd. But then again, if you get the more powerful weapons, they do shoot a bit more and they're more powerful. So that does kind of work out. Like I said, so there's upgraded weapons. They're not upgradable, but they're upgraded. They don't last forever, of course, which is kind of the game's shtick. Makes it quite challenging. But rate of fire does increase, shot power does increase. That adds to the dynamics of the game, so you can shoot the tanks and stuff like that and duck out the way. From what I could ascertain, this is one large level that's basically an infiltration of the big base, and it goes on for quite a time as well. There's quite a lot of level, but there is only one. In fact, one of the chief complaints that I came across in Lemon was that people go, "No, it feels like there should be more levels. It's like you finish level 1 and that's it." And maybe that's the case, but it is only $3.99. If you want more levels, it should have gone up to $6.99, a full price. It's not going to do that.
No.
And so that's how it plays. I mean, this game is no more, no less than an arcade variant of those things. And is it good at that? Yeah, I thought there was a decent game in here, especially for budget money. It's supremely playable in a good old-fashioned arcade way. It is just, unfortunately, missing its soundtrack. Now, they do remedy that in Arnie 2, which comes out in 1993. So I don't know if we'll get to that. I don't know. Maybe at some point in the future of the podcast, there'll be an Arnie 2 in our future. And oddly, that game version has other game music done by somebody else, but they're versions of Commando and Rambo, which is kind of odd, isn't it? That's strange. But quirks aside, there's a decent playable blasting game in here. I mean, I know Who Dares Wins didn't have a soundtrack in game, did it? It was just you running, I think, and just the sounds. I don't remember there being a...
Yeah, there wasn't, no.
So can a game like this get away with it? Yes, it can. I just think that because of the arcade... Who Dares Wins was never quite at the pace of an arcade. It wasn't quite as frantic as Commando. It was a little bit more methodical, I think. I don't know if that's the best way to describe that. This one feels like its placement is more around the Commando style arcade. So run around, blast, shoot, and even the graphics and the trees look very Commando-y. It looks like Commando game, the arcade game. However, because it inherits that kind of inherent arcade playability, it needs music. I mean, it does. It just does. Yep. So because it doesn't have that, I think, and because it's only one level and it could have done with a couple more, I think it's a perfectly passable game. It's enjoyable. I enjoyed playing it, and I did want to go back and see how much further I could get. It just lacks the kind of arcade driving paces needed that the music would have given it. Without that, it can feel, as you do it, a little bit dull. Over time, it starts to get a little bit dull because these kind of games are repetitive by nature. And also, I think arcades break up the monotony of those things with a little bit of bigger stuff to do. There are tanks and stuff in this, but you need those stop-off points in an arcade as like an end-of-level thing to challenge you, so that makes you feel like your progression is there. If you don't have that, it's just kind of one big long thing. That's okay. It works in a Swiv environment, maybe something like that. But for this, I think it's missing. So it's missing a bit of interstitial, it's missing its music, but there's a very playable game in here. And I think it's Chris Butler's setup for Arnie 2, which actually is coded by somebody else, but it has the music in it. I think there was clearly a good space for a Commando variant isometric game like this. I just wish this had been released with music in about 1987, 88. It would have smashed it out the park. It would have been easily the most popular one of those sort of games, I think. Mm-hmm. But that said, for $3.99, I thought it was pretty good. What about you?
Yeah. It reminded me of that other one, and I'm struggling to remember the name of it. It was another 3D isometric Commando variant where you're on an island.
Yeah, I couldn't. I knew there was another one. I could not. I looked and looked. I couldn't remember the name of the damn thing.
I'm trying to look on Lemon, and it's not coming up under what I'd have thought it would have come up under isometric.
No, same.
And it's like, and I was like, what the hell is that one called? It was by a programmer as well that sort of is a competent programmer that does kind of weird stuff, and I'm going to dig it out sort of thing by the end of the episode. But it reminded me of that because that was kind of a long, kind of big level, wasn't it? And you're working around different things.
I was the same as you. I knew there was another one. I looked and looked and I looked, and I just could not identify what that game was. So hopefully you will come up with that.
Yeah, I'll have a look. I'll have a dig into it sort of thing, but I can't remember. But yes, I've written the same as you. I mean, if ever there was a game that needed music, this is it. I mean, I played this with the Commander music, thought that'll do it. It did made it better. I think that it was just a bit too frantic for this game, that music. Mm-hmm. So I tried it with Zoids, and it worked really well with Zoids.
Yeah, I can imagine that, actually.
Which is a bit more sort of deep and slower and a bit more, a bit more suitable to the pace of this game. It works brilliantly. Adds a local atmosphere to it, but anyway. Hasn't got music, has it?
No.
And like I said, we've seen this isometric style Commander game, but I'm not sure if we've seen something like this singular long level. I thought it was interesting. I thought it continues to throw good challenges at you as you progress with the different vehicles that turn up, sort of the homing missiles from the helicopter when you get to that, sort of snaking your way through the kind of barbed wire sequences, trying to sort of edge your way past. There's a couple of bits that I think the controls are nice and snappy, but no issues with the controls, never slow down or anything. I always thought it was good. Thought the visuals were pretty good. They're small, but so it actually gives you plenty of space to explore in a lot of the environment, which I thought was quite nice. Except for when it needs to sort of hem you in, like in the barbed wire and put you in little mazes and stuff. So it challenges you in different ways, in different elements, so I thought that was quite nice. I didn't have a problem with the collision detection. I thought that was okay. I didn't feel like any of it was too cheap. It was always a pleasure to get a new weapon. So especially the rocket launcher and the flamethrower and things like that, and just blowing up stuff with one hit, and that was quite nice. The only thing I think this is missing, where's the grenades?
When I first played it, I thought your player count, I thought I had 3 grenades, and I was desperately trying to trigger them somehow with like holding the fire button down, space bar, and that. And then you don't have them. Yeah. No,
it's a weird omission, isn't it? For this kind of game.
Maybe. I wonder if it was just not coded in by the time this was, I think
quite possibly
pushed out as is, I think.
Because he obviously had the arc of the sort of thing programmed into the 3D, because those mortar things hit you in the arc, don't they? So it's not like they couldn't do the sort of arc of a grenade.
No, agree.
But it would have just been it would have been useful when you've got the guys in the turrets and the huts and things like that.
Because you can't really shoot them.
No, so you have to sort of dead man. So I was thinking that it needs grenades. It needs grenades. But it hasn't got it. As I said though, £3 or £4 budget Commando style games go. It's a winner. It's a winner for me. This. It's good fun. It's tough. But once you start to learn it, and you and you realize as well that a lot of the time, just run.
Yeah, just leg it through.
It's almost a run and gun. This don't hang about a lot of times.
Yeah,
just get going until you have to blow some stuff up. You can make progress, which is it's a satisfying loop. You'd have been well happy with this for £4 if you bought this. I think it deserves that score. It just needed music. It needs music to drive you on. I've not listened to the music for Arnie 2, so I don't know what it's like.
It's good.
Is it good? Is it okay? Well, but if we do get to it, then we'll have a listen. But you put music on this, and it's a hell of a lot better. So if you do play it, and it's worth a little play this because it's a good little game.
Definitely.
Then just stick one of the classic sort of C64 tunes on, and you're in a much better place.
Or if you're feeling a little bit like you want to change the mood of the game, go for some massive jazz.
On the green. That would just make it feel. That would just make it feel like a modern action film. Where they all have the action sequences to like some kind of classical piece or some jazz music or something like that.
Very true.
It would make it feel quite contemporary, perhaps. but who knows? Anyway, there you go. That's Arnie. It's all right. It's pretty good. Let's move on because hopefully, this is a good run. Still a good run of games. This, continuing from last week.
Still good.
Let's see if that continues.
Short-lived.
Yeah.
Hope.
US Gold have turned up and just shat on that.
Shut something out.
This is G-Loc. G-Loc. 11.99. And it somehow got 35%.
Okay.
So the arcade conversions never end, and here we have yet another. This
another
time from
one
the
bites the
esteemed.
dust.
Yeah, this time from the esteemed, or should that be steaming? US Gold. This is G-Loc. To give it its full name, G-Loc R360.
Okay.
What is G-Loc, you may ask? Well, let me tell you. From the wiki, G-Loc Air Battle is a 1990 combat flight simulator video game developed and published by Sega for the arcade. It is a spin-off of the company's Afterburner series. The title refers to G-force-induced loss of consciousness.
Naturally.
The game is known for its use of the R360 Motion Simulator arcade cabinet. The game is released in 3 arcade cabinet versions: standard stand-up, sit-down version, and a deluxe sit-down version, the R360 cabinet. The R360 gives the game turns the game into a more dynamic feel as the cabinet responds to the pilot's actions, improving on the limited path of plane movement in the stand-up and sit-down version.
Okay.
The cabinet is mounted on a gyroscope that can rotate along 2 axes, attached to a base which is stationary. There you go. You have to strap yourself into it as well.
You do.
In Japan, Game Machine listed G-Loc Air Battle as the most successful upright arcade game of May 1990. The deluxe cabinet version went on to become Japan's 9th highest grossing dedicated arcade game of 1990. It was later Japan's 5th highest grossing dedicated arcade game of 1991. In North America, it was considered the hit of the show at Chicago's American Coin Machine Exposition, or ACME, in March 1990, and became a commercial hit upon release. It was the top grossing new video game on the Replay arcade charts in June 1990. It was then the 2nd highest grossing dedicated arcade game in September 1990, below Konami's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Wow, okay. Pretty good.
That's
pretty good.
The wiki. Clearly an impressive game, technically, and in the arcade, and obviously big business. And surely, what better place to show off all the technical prowess than a 1 megahertz machine with 16 colours made in 1982?
I know. Stop calling me Shirley, but I agree with you.
That's a good choice if ever I saw one. As noted, this was published by US Gold. It was coded by James Smart. He did Wonder Boy in Monsterland, Back to the Future 2, and The Amazing Tiny Spider-Man. Remember that?
That should have been the name of it, but yeah.
Yeah, graphics are by Steve Bedser. Who, sir? Bedser. He did Spider-Man, Back to the Future 2, Chips Challenge, Last Battle, Shadow Dancer, and The Hunt for Red October, the arcade one. And the music is by Neil Crossley. Spider-Man, Chips Challenge, Hunt for Red October, Last Battle, Shadow Dancer. He also did Space Gun.
Oh, okay.
Music for Space Gun. There you go. Just a curveball in at the end there. A team that's clearly worked together. So, at least that's something. At least they know each other. So according to the instructions for this, it says G-Loc scenario. In the hot seat of an experimental superplane, you are the ace pilot. Ahead of you lies 36 action-packed suicide missions. Your weaponry is highly impressive. Why, thank you.
36 suicide missions. I love that. I'm guessing you're going to do 35 failures then.
Yeah, true. Your weaponry is highly impressive. Why, thank you, sir.
Hey.
Twin rapid-fire lasers and an awesome missile guidance system gives you the technological edge needed for your missions. In your hands, you have such advanced firepower and controls that are well ahead of your opposition. I don't know who wrote this shit.
Is that a military term? How advanced are these weapons? Well ahead.
Well ahead, absolutely. Can't write words, but we can have everything.
Well ahead.
G-Loc delivers the pulse-pounding excitement you'll just want to keep coming back for. That's some checks this is writing.
That is a big check, goodness.
Yeah, there's a loading screen for this. Writes more checks this game doesn't even recognise, let alone cache. It's a good loading screen, nice use of colour and planes exploding. I did quite like the loading screen. It's quite nice. Yeah. So it's kind of greys and yellows and stuff. It kind of works quite well. But then the game loads and we have a very basic title screen with a very stupidly large font. And everything is in this stupid large font for no reason. And we can choose from beginner, medium, or expert, or look at some high scores. I don't know what beginner, medium, or expert actually pertain to. Who knows? The music is twee and really not suited to the game at all.
Yep, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, I tried to listen to the arcade, and there's, like most arcades, there's no music on the intro screen. There's music in the game, which is kind of the opposite to this. So I was trying to listen, because obviously when you listen to the arcade game, or it's all sound effects, so trying to pick out the music. But I don't know if the title screen is the version of the music in the in-game. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it, but it might. You select 1, 2, or 3 with the keys, starts the game, and we're straight in. So all the intro stuff out of the arcade, like taking off from the aircraft carrier, swooping in, all the bits and bobs, it's all gone. All the speech, everything's gone. Just ripped out, ripped away, sliced away with a scalpel. You have none of that. We're just safely into rectangles of green for the ground and blue for the sky. A scene from a cockpit. The overly large font at the top tells us the time remaining for the mission and how many hits we've done. So basically, to get through each mission, you need to destroy a number of planes to move on to it. Move on to the next one. That's all you got to do here. Just destroy a number of planes.
Yep.
At the bottom, we have a fuel gauge. There's a radar of sorts, which is pointless because you're always flying. There's your missile display, which I think just tells you how many missiles and what you've got. There's a direction, which I don't understand because you're just going forward. There's your speed, which just says auto, and a circle with a plane in it. I don't know what any of this means. I don't think it actually means anything because I'll come to why when we get to the end of this lot. So you're up against the clock here. Every second is critical, but nothing happens for a good 10 seconds or so. When the level starts, you just do. Where's the planes to shoot? Where's the action? Then some dots move across the radar bit to make us think, oh no, some dots are kind of moving across the floor. This is to kind of sort of make us think we're moving forward. Don't know what it is. Some ground stuff. Some dots then appear on the radar. Within our sort of, the way the cockpit's done, it's got I don't know what you call it, sort of firing part in the middle.
It's like a target window, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a target window, and in that is a crosshair. And so eventually some plane sprites wander into view, and if they go into your target reticule, then your crosshair kind of wobbles across to them. It's like it's old and seen many years and many winters. And it kind of locks on, so because lock on, I've locked on.
I've locked on, is that good enough?
And then, next locks on. The controls for this is simple. Left and right to bank. Bank left or right, up and down to climb or descend. Holding down fires a stream of bullets, and tapping fire, or just letting go once you find a thing with fires a missile. So you always want to have, you've only got limited missiles, so you can't, and so bullets don't do anything. The bullets do nothing.
Do nothing.
So you need to wait for your crosshair to lock on, locked on, and then you fire off a missile, at which point you'll hear a missile fire sound. There'll be some smoke sprites appear in front of you, and your missile will take out its target very slowly. These are old missiles controlled by an old crosshair. Once you've cleared the number of enemies, you just stops. You get a time bonus if you've got any time left, and you take out some more in the same manner because it moves on to the next level. Do this enough times, and this is where things get odd. So I watched a long play of this because I couldn't be bothered playing it for much longer. And in the long play, all that happens is the green and blue changes to a dark blue at the bottom and then a lighter blue at the top to denote you're now over the sea.
Oh, goodness me.
And at this point as well, I think you can either refuel or I don't know what was going on, but I think it's like you took enough damage, so it happens to be once. If you take damage, you kind of zoom out the back of the plane, and then your wings on fire, and then you zoom back in again. I have no idea what any of this means or why it's doing any of this. Then in the long play, there was a black sky and sea, it's night, before we had a yellow ground and blue sky, I guess we're over a desert, and then he's repeated until the game was completed on the long play.
Awful.
So, and you may note here, I'm simply describing colours changing. That's because nothing else does. It's just the same, just a number of enemies you have to keep shooting. That's all that changes. However, the version I played, after the third level, you get the canyon bit from the game, from the arcade, which is weird.
Oh, weird.
So you get the sort of canyon sort of graphics at the side, the crap. And so, but the problem is here, left and right now doesn't bank you. It just slides you left and right. So you're no longer banking because obviously the sprite scaling on the left and right, they couldn't move that.
Couldn't do that. Oh, dear.
They couldn't do that. So you just move left and right. You just slide left and right, which is a bit weird. And worst of all, the frame rate collapses to the point that this becomes almost unplayable. Well, it becomes almost unplayable. It is unplayable. It's just rubbish. You can get through the level, though, because all you've got to do is, like I said, wait for planes to wander into your firing window, your crosshair to go on them, let loose a missile. That's the only way you can destroy them.
Right.
You don't have to do anything. When you get through the level, you're then at sea with the same canyon effects, which is weird. The frame rate gets even worse because you're trying to shoot ships in the sea, and it's just dreadful. At this point, I gave up. It's rubbish. I mean, at this point, the instruction says you can control your speed with F1 and F7 and use your afterburner with space. None of those worked for me. No. I couldn't speed up. There's no afterburner, none of that. I don't know if weirdly in the long play, he is controlling his speed. I don't know what's going on here. There's no good way to say this. This is clearly unfinished and unoptimized.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the point, this has been rushed out the door to try and once again rip people off because there's not one single redeeming feature within this game. We've seen this kind of sprite scaling done before in many games, so we know it can be done at speed if you need to. We've just had a Chris Butler game, and that man can sprite scale like no one else on the machine. You think, look at things like Power Drift. What was the helicopter one? Not brilliant, but it had some nice sprite scaling. Turbocharge, all the car ones we've seen. We've seen this done better in these kind of games.
We have.
So, we know it can. The machine is capable of doing this. While it runs at such an appalling frame rate, demonstrate it's just not finished.
Correct.
Would it have been any better if it had been? Probably not. The gameplay consists of little more, like I said, than waiting for a cursor to automatically line up and then pressing fire. The graphics are blocky and slow. You've got when you're banking left and right, you bank, if you turn it left, you go, the screen goes to 33 degrees and 45 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That's the amount of turn you get. But the whole game is you're supposed to be able to do a full 180, sort of twist all the way around. Again, was doing that in the long play. So I don't know if we've played some weird version of this, but I honestly don't know because they didn't have the levels we had. Some weird crap going on somewhere here, but it's crap. But watching him play it as well, it's still the same crap gameplay, just still rubbish. The sprites for the enemy planes appear over your hood, appear over your firing window, so they're in front. So there's no attempt at layering or there's just no simple care and attention. None of it has been applied here. But maybe that's because it was clearly shoved out the door. I just think that at this point, US Gold are just like, just put the 8-bit version. No one cares. No one's going to buy this. If someone spends 12 quid on this, then whee! But, my annoyance here again lies with the publisher, US Gold. He's very clearly happy to foist unfinished crap on the public under the guise of a very popular arcade game. 12 quid. Disgraceful. Another arcade catastrophe. Should never have been released. Not in this state. It's not finished. This is broken. Utterly, utterly broken and just crap. On any metric you want to apply to this, it just goes crap. There's not one thing I can say, well, that was all right, because nothing is. Even the font's shit.
It is, yeah.
So, garbage, G-Loc, whatever. What did you think?
My comment that I wrote for this was, holy shitting dog egg. This is utter shite. It's unfinished crap. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. We played, I think of the Ace Combats and the Ace, the Ace 2s and stuff like that, and Sky Fox and all of those games, and we've had loads of games of this type, and they've all done better than this. Even there's been loads of them over time. Yep. So to go back to this, it was just clearly unfinished, and they've just released whatever they had. Why that's happened, what story there is, I don't know. But like you said, this controls badly. It's not fun to play. It's blocky, horrible character graphics at best when they appear. It's borderline uncontrollable anyway. It doesn't really matter. It all feels like it's for nothing, and it's not exciting. All of that stuff they wrote, that big check they wrote at the start, you'll want to come back for all this pulse-pounding action. It's utterly shite. It's utterly rubbish. There's nothing good about it. Why they chose that enormous typeface, we'll never know. Why it measures time with the 0.1 of a second. Why has it got that little minute? Why is it even there? Who knows why they did it?
The timer slows down as well when the game slows down, which is
the words. Yeah, exactly. It's all terrible. I don't understand what they were thinking of when they thought that this was a good idea, and the crappy effect of rotating you can't even do a full 360, can you? So the crappy effect of tilting and banking the plane around. It's just rubbish. It's utter rubbish. We've seen this done way better in other games. Why would anyone pay full price for this? All of those other games I spoke of are all out on budget. So just go and get any one of them. I'd suggest, is it Sky Fox, the one of them really early ones, is way better than this.
Go play.
Shooting the tanks and stuff.
The C64 version of Afterburner is better than this.
Yeah, it is, actually. So just go and find any other game than this one. This is Wing Commander levels of exciting. With its big block of blue and green that's moving around. It's just crap. Just really crap. Full price for this. Zap gave it 35%. I'd have given it big fat 0. This is straight into the crap arcade conversions, isn't it? Top 3 or top 5, without a doubt. Unbelievable. And especially considering how popular that arcade actually was. Goodness me, what they're doing. Utterly rubbish. Utter rubbish. Don't play it, for goodness sake. Go on. What are the 16-bit versions like? I never looked at them, but
I didn't look. I
Got to
was
be better
so
than this rubbish.
I was so horrified by this version. I wanted to get away from it.
So bad. And no, avoid it. They couldn't even be asked to finish the colouring of the cockpit, could they? So it starts off with like a blue shady effect at the bottom, and then as you work your way up the screen, they just go, bollocks to this. Let's not bother shading anything anymore.
Yeah.
Rubbish. Go home, game. Don't come back. Fly off. Be gone.
Yeah.
Yep. Rubbish.
There you go. And that's our second game. We knew it couldn't last. We knew the high quality couldn't last. Something had to bring us back down to earth. It had to earth. By the way, just before we go back for a break, Battle Island. I
knew there was another one.
That's the isometric.
Yeah.
One.
That was
it was done by Paul Wokes.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was a coder that I recognised, sort of thing. But yeah, it came back to me. Battle Island.
Very good. Well remembered, that man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Anyway, on that note, G-Loc, Jesus Christ. We're going to go take a quick break. We will come back. We have TV and film to talk about from June 1992. It's an odd bunch of stuff that goes on that month, but
it is.
let's see what we can make of it. See you in a moment.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Crash landing on a green planet full of vector graphics, can Sarah find a way to escape for real? Or is she stranded on a planet full of sun, sea, and chippy tea forever? Imagine finding yourself in a cinematic karate game, having to rescue a princess, or remain stuck under the run-stop key forever. What about finding yourself on a space freighter full of robots? Could you clear the decks? If you were transported back to a Wild West town, having to round up outlaws, could you survive until sunset? What if you were a wizard with a cat who must colour worlds? Could you beat the game, or would a virtual guitar solo announce your demise? Sarah might just be another visitor, but she doesn't want to stay a while, never mind forever. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, discover if there's a way out in Escape from the Commodore 64. Visit davidhearnwriter.com to find out more.
And we're back. June 1992. What was going on in the land of TV? Well, it was all getting a bit risque, Graham. Risque.
Ooh, I like
but
that.
not for us. Not for us,
No.
though. 9th and 10th of June, episodes 1450 and 1454 of the Australian soap Neighbours are heavily censored by the BBC because they contain an incest storyline between the characters Glenn Donnelly, played by Richard Huggett, and Lucy Robinson, who had not realised they were half siblings when they began a relationship.
Ouch.
Scenes involved in the story are cut from episode 1450, aired on 9th of June, while episodes 1451 to 1454 are edited together into one episode, which is transmitted the following day. The scenes, though, are shown uncut in repeats, aired by UK Gold in 1998.
What scenes they were? Guess they were just of them being a bit romantic-y.
And obviously finding out that they were, so must have just been their relationship before they found out they were brother and sister. Or
I know, but it's weird, isn't it? Because it's not like it's real, and it's not like they are actually brothers and sisters in that, is it? It's just a TV show. I mean, goodness me, the whole principal point of Game of Thrones was that the fact that the Daenerys was related to, what's his name?
You're on about Cersei?
Sorry. No.
Cersei and Jaime?
No.
Oh, you're on about...
Yes, they're brother and sister, but Daenerys is related to Jon Snow.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah, she was.
He's Aegon Targaryen, isn't he? Aegon, so he's like, essentially they're related.
Yeah, well, that's Game of Thrones, though, isn't it? Anything
well, that's what I mean. So, but that's how the times have changed, Adrian. How times have changed.
They have, but I never knew that. But
no,
quite risky.
I wasn't watching it by then. But yeah, I suppose I don't know. Maybe
risky
it was
for Neighbours to include an incest storyline. Who knew?
We didn't. We couldn't handle that much Aussie sauce. It's too much sauce.
No, that is true. Lucy Robinson as well. I don't remember who she was.
Yes.
Do you remember Lucy Robinson?
No, I wasn't watching Neighbours at this point. By this time, I tuned out of it because I had. But I'm sure that she was played by a very attractive girl. They tended to be, didn't they, in the TV shows of that type?
They did.
Since we were micro-obsessed with Australia for a number of years, they're bound to have been then suddenly on the pop chart. She'll have released a single, probably married somebody from In Excess or something like they did.
Yeah, the drummer.
Yeah, got married the drummer from In Excess. Got clobbered by a rock near a pond by, what's his name? They followed the Kylie route.
Oh, Nick Cave.
Nick Cave, yeah, with the rock, didn't he?
In a
not
video.
For real. In his song, not for real. In the video, he did. Yeah, he bashed her on the head with a rock near a pond. I'm sure it's more romantic than that in the song, isn't it? It's,
I don't. Yeah, how do you make hitting someone on the head with a rock romantic?
He found a way. It's Nick Cave. He can make anything sound romantic. He could read the phone book and Gary would be dribbling into his pants.
10th to the 26th of June. Moving on. The BBC and ITV show live coverage of the Euro 92 Football Championship from Sweden.
Ah, okay.
So I went and dug up the opening titles from both BBC and ITV, the shows that they would have on. And you'd never see, because you obviously don't watch football, do you? So you would be completely, these would be all new to you. So what did you make of these opening sequences?
I thought it was incredible. It was such a good thing to spot. It's such a good spot on your part there. So I watched because you found the ones from the BBC for 1992 and then the ones for ITV. And now obviously I didn't watch any of them, so it makes no odds to me. But the BBC's for this kind of classic footage of football set to Beethoven's Ninth, so it's a bit of a classic piece of music, isn't it?
Yep.
And it kind of worked. ITV's one was like some weird football-based sitcom.
Yeah, it's crap,
it was really, really schmaltzy and weird. And it was so... The contrast is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy difference. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh.
That's the difference between the classy BBC and the not so classy ITV, or a bit more sort of different and wacky.
Exactly.
But yeah, Beethoven, the shots of the footballers were not good, were they?
No, honestly, I felt like it was going to. All it needed was close-ups of them smiling. It was like the opening of a soap opera.
Yeah, true.
It really was.
Yeah, yep, true.
I mean, it was brilliant in its crazy stupidness, though. It was brilliant.
And then I gave you the intros for the Euro 2024 from ITV and BBC.
I couldn't believe the difference. I couldn't believe the difference. The BBC's, they'd obviously hired some savant 3D programmer, Gen Zia, who'd come in and just created some kind of football-based pinball.
Soccer pinball, we saw it the other week.
So somebody had obviously played that game and created that. And then the ITV one, I was like, what the hell? It was this emotional, animated, well-animated, sort of, not Disney-esque, but animated tale of football into a story with this really elaborate version of the never-ending story music in the background. I'm like, is this a football commentary I'm watching? What the hell is this?
I don't know if you noticed Harry Kane climbing up Rapunzel's hair.
It was unbelievable. I'm like, where were they going with that?
I don't know. Roy Keane, Gary Neville, and I can't remember the other one were on a stained glass window.
It was
all very bizarre.
It was really, really over elaborate for what it actually is. I was like, wow, okay. How times have changed. A lot. It must have cost a fortune for them.
Well, I think I noted here, because I think that's what we sort of were speaking about the other week when we were talking about football going to Sky and everything. I know obviously technology moves on in this sense, but the amount of money this shows and demonstrates the amount of money that's gone into into football. Because like you said, that ITV one was probably made on in half an hour in the back of someone in a crap edit suite. Have we got any shots of footballers? Oh, I don't know. I think we've got some down. I've got this video from home where I take the game from last night.
Well.
Just put them on there. That'll do. Now it's these big lavish productions with animations and crazy sort of stuff. And so interesting to watch and just sort of compare and contrast how, like we did it the other week with the Eurovision as well. But how times have changed and move on when much more money comes in.
It's unbelievable. The difference is like the night and day, and also the difference between the two companies. It's still quite interesting that they still take a little difference. Or the BBC have gone wild compared to what they were. You've gone from Beethoven's Ninth to the pinball sequence from Sesame Street. It was really weird.
Very strange. There you go. Anyway, they showed the footy. I can't remember who won the 92 Euro.
No idea.
29th of June, Susie Dent makes her debut as lexicographer on the Channel 4 game show Countdown in its 24th series, a role she holds for at least 30 years.
Wow. They can't take her out of there. She knows too many words.
Too many words. When they try and fire her sort of thing, she knows all the words to say to stop them doing that.
She actually fires words out. They're weapons for her. She's been in that Pontypool film, I think.
Words, probably. She'd be good in that, wouldn't she? She'd be very
perfect,
good.
Yeah. She's perfect casting for that. She's still on there.
And sometime in June, Yorkshire and Tyne Tees. Well, she does Thingy, doesn't she? She does the 8 out of 10 cats does Countdown, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does that now, yeah.
And finally, sometime within June, there was no date for this, Yorkshire and Tyne Tees television merge because of the financial strain brought on by the amount of money each paid to keep their ITV franchises.
Aye.
The merger begins a process that will see the consolidation of ITV over the next decade. So it's interesting to know ITV. What we used to have, for those who are not from UK, we used to have a series of sort of franchises around the country,
regional offerings, weren't they?
Regional TV. We still have that to some degree, especially with the BBC, because you'll get like BBC local news and things like that. But back then, it was completely different programming. You'd get different programs on Tyne Tees, which did sort of Newcastle and around that area. You'd get Granada, which was Manchester. We had Yorkshire TV, which was all around Yorkshire and sort of south of the Humber. There was, I don't know what did Lincolnshire. Was that Yorkshire as well?
Central.
There was Anglia TV, wasn't there, for around Norwich and all that lot. There was Thames.
Thames Television, famously.
What was down south? What was like Cornwall and that area? Was it STV or
Grampian? That's Scotland, isn't it?
Grampian, Scottish, I think. I can't remember what it was down that way. Somebody
there
let
was
us
one
know.
down there. Somebody let us
there
know,
definitely was. But it was interesting because they would show the big shows. Everyone got Minder at 9:00, stuff like that.
Yep, syndicated in their own way.
Yeah, so you get the syndicate stuff, but then in between them, some people would be like getting shows you never got. You get different football games, different matches, all
regional
kinds of
variations.
Stuff. Yeah. So, but that all went when it became ITV.
It did, and it's still ITV to this day. Although you've now got ITV 2 and 3 and so on, but there is no regional TVs as such, is there?
Not really. No, it's just the one channel. One channel to rule them all.
Yep.
New shows. On the 8th of June, there was something called The Guilty.
Could only find an Internet Movie Database link about it. It didn't sound very intriguing, and I'm not sure if that's the right one.
No, I don't know what that is. When you don't know, you don't know. 10th of June was Blue Heaven.
Sounds like a porno.
This was weird, wasn't it? British television
really
sitcom
weird.
that starred Frank Skinner, Corliss Hill, John Fognam, Nadeem Swala, and Paula Wilcox, with guest stars Bill Bailey, Bob Goody, Lucy Davis, Tamsin Green, Beryl Reid, Philip Glenister, and John Thompson. So it basically, Frank Skinner sort of narrating his life, talking to screen, sort of fourth wall breaking, and he's kind of like in a Tony Hancock style, I guess.
Yes, which I think is probably where he was going with it.
Yeah, but it's all to do with, I don't know, I watched some of the first episode, but I found it, there's two people just yelling at each other really horribly, and I was like, I don't want to listen to this. So I don't know what it was. 11th of June, Pandora's Box.
Ah, yes, Mr. Curtis.
I'd never heard of this. So,
did you not? Oh, wow.
No, the only first thing I heard of Curtis was Power of Nightmares.
Oh, wow, there's loads before that.
Power of Nightmares is the first one I know of his.
Okay.
I mean, he has a formula, doesn't he? So when you watch him, you see the same things come up.
Yeah, he has the methodology, and I like that.
No, don't get me wrong. I watched the first one of these. Like, I find it really weird that the USSR built what was that machine they built? It said something about the self something machine.
Oh yeah, they built an entire place, didn't they? As well.
Well, it was that machine that guy built to make sure that everyone worked in a certain way, and then when he died, no one understood how it worked.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Yeah, because they came up with the plan, didn't they, in the USSR?
Did. Yeah.
And then they realised that by 2000, everybody would be working out what the plan was if they kept to it.
Yep.
Like, you've not worked this out very well. But it's quite interesting if you like Adam Curtis stuff. It's very much Adam Curtis.
Yeah, it's early Adam Curtis. So he narrates it for a start, which on the more modern ones he doesn't.
Shifty he didn't do, did he?
Yeah, no, he didn't do it in Shifty, and he didn't do it on the one before that as well. But that said, or did he? He might have done it on Hypernormalisation.
I think he did. I think Shifty was the first one. Yeah, he's talking on that. Yeah.
Oh, no, because there's another one between Hypernormalisation and that other one. I forget what that was called now, but there's another one.
Is that all looked over by Machines of Love and Grace?
No, that's before that one. It was another one. Anyway, but it's following in the footsteps of that kind of approach that he takes, which is obviously lots of combined historical footage from places and then some narration. You've got to put a lot of pieces together. Always interesting soundtracks that go with it, generally from things like John Carpenter movies and stuff like that. And there's just some good stuff going on in there. But he has a really interesting way of creating the narrative space in which things develop. And in these earlier ones, it's a little bit more explicit. So it's a little bit more explained. There's more interview footage and talking and stuff. Later down the line, sometimes the illusion of it that you get is just by imagery alone. You've got to kind of piece those things together, but it does make sense when it pieces. Shift is a lot like that. However, this is a series of, I think there's 6 episodes in this one, and it follows, there's a few that are like that as well. All of his back catalogue, most of his back catalogue, should I say, is available on iPlayer. I don't know what that means for the people outside of the UK, but you can actually find these dotted about on YouTube and everything. I would always recommend
all 6 of these are on YouTube, aren't there?
They are. Go and revisit Adam Curtis documentaries. They're interesting to go back and look at in terms of some of the more historical footnotes that are left in them, and to see sort of where we're at now and compared to the kind of some of the things that are in those and what led to them. There's an amazing part in Pandora's Box, I think it's episode 5 or 6, which is all about game theory and the invention of game theory and how that supported the Cold War originally. And it's absolutely fascinating. So I would strongly recommend that you go and check those out. So.
Was this his first thing?
No, there's some early ones before this. I've got his entire back catalogue, all of them. So if you ever want them, I don't know. I can't give them to you on this podcast, but if you ever want them, you'll have to seek them out like I did.
Okay, I will do. Don't worry, I will buy them through legal means.
Yeah, you can get, but most of them are on iPlayer, I think. So
okay, I'll have a look. I've watched all this stuff on iPlayer, I think.
So there's some more obscure ones that there are.
Yeah,
because that's what I mean. I don't shorts that he did as well.
I don't think it goes back beyond Power of Nightmares on iPlayer.
So there is quite a lot before that. So definitely.
The Power of Nightmares is amazing.
Yeah.
That was when I first came
The
across
Trap
them.
as well. The Century of the Self and The Trap, they're both before that. They're both good.
Okay, well, I'll give them a view. But anyway, it's good that was on because it's very interesting.
Very good, yeah.
16th of June, there was Firm Friends.
Too much shakuhachi in the opening music. It's like shakuhachi. Ooh,
and then they changed the note. They just played it up higher up, and it's the same sample.
I know, I've used that sample.
I know you have.
Horrible thing.
Use it all the time.
Horrible thing.
It's not very good, this. Billy Whitelaw, I don't know what it was. Something on 24th of June called CIA, a documentary. Couldn't find
anything about that. No, nothing.
No. 25th of June, there was 999. This is initially known as 999, Dramatic Stories of Real Life Rescues. It's a British docudrama television series presented by Michael Burke.
It
premiered
was.
on 25th June. Ran until 17th September 2003. Got its name from the emergency telephone number. It's based on the American series Rescue 911.
Yes.
So that's what it is. It is essentially, if you've ever watched The Day to Day in the Chopper of Doom sequence, it's exactly your blood.
Yeah. Pocket Shepherd.
Pocket Shepherd. Yeah, it's that. It's essentially that, as you probably know it from, It's a small price to pay for a working body
that functions properly. I actually rewatched it on the strength of you posting that clip. Go and check the show notes out, watch it because it's genuinely brilliant. You forget how good the Day to Day actually was until you see little sequences of that and you realize how absolutely on point those kind of reproductions. There's the bit where the two guys in the watchtower, those two people, it's so brilliantly done. It's such a brilliant pastiche of a reenactment. It's brilliant. It's absolutely on point.
That's Farmer Smith. He's got his dog with him.
He looks with the binoculars and he leans over, and it's the angles, the camera angles, and everything are perfect.
Yeah. Oh, it's the bit where I know we should just quote bits from it, but it's the sequence where, luckily, as the chopper was spiraling out of control, the old woman looked out of her window. Luckily, she managed to bring up a camera.
It's massive later, video
she contacted the police.
Absolutely hilarious. Because narrowly avoiding a woman, there's that old lady on a giant stick in the middle of the field. It's just so random. Brilliant stuff. Go check it out immediately.
Yeah, indeed. 24th of June is Land of Hope and Gloria.
Did you watch it?
As you've rightly said here, what have you put? They had a pun title. Everything else was an afterthought.
Absolutely, they did. This Gloria Hepburn is a leisure manager from the United States who was appointed as the new business manager of Beaumont House, a stately home. Okay, and the jokes must be flowing then. That's it. That's all they had. And then we watched the first episode and it's clear that's all they had.
Yep. It was dreadful. Really dreadful.
Absolutely shite.
Yep.
And the music was horrible as well. Horrible music.
It was all bad. 27th of June, Sam Saturday.
Yeah, no recollection of that.
It's a British television police procedural series. And all I could think of, and I should have put it down here, was Monkfish.
It is Monkfish, totally Monkfish.
It's Monkfish. The 6-part series, Fusai Cinema Verite and associated with LTV broadcast, follows the work of D.I. Sam Stern, Ivan Kay, a Jewish police detective as he struggles to balance the demands of the job with his private life, Monkfish. The series was created by writer Alex. It's Monkfish. All these shows. But the thing is, the series was just one of a number of commissions they made in 91 following an announcement that both the Ruth Rendell Mysteries and Inspector Morse were to cease production.
Yeah. Who done it? They killed off Ruth Rendell. That's the irony of that is never lost on me. And Morse, they're both killed off.
I know.
So this guy came along, Sam Saturday, to investigate who killed them both. Who killed these people? LWT,
Saturday.
That's another one. London Weekend Television, that was another region.
LWT, Thames as well. I don't know if I mentioned Thames, But, There's just so many of these bloody things. I'm sure somewhere it's on ITV3.
Yep. And it'll have that same sort of music on the opening credits. Na, 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 na.
I'm Sam Saturday. Like. Get me a cuppa.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do you think that's what he sounded like?
I don't know. Quite possibly. It could have been more like what's the other one? Monk. Could have been softer spoken. I'm Sam Saturday. Spoken? Can I have a cuppa, please?
Wouldn't be a Cockney, would he?
Might be.
We're Cockneys. I don't know if he was that.
I'm a Cockney, don't you know? Get me a cuppa.
Apples and pears and all that kind of thing. Rather. We know nothing about Cockneys, clearly, or I don't.
Well, no, neither do they. That's the whole point. That's the joke. That's the joke.
That is the joke.
That was it. That's it for TV. It's crap. Films, apart from Adam Curtis stuff. Films. 5th of June. Graham, you could have gone to see. Did you go see this?
I did go and see it.
You went to the cinema to see The Lawnmower Man. I went to the cinema a lot, but I didn't go and see this.
I did go and see The Lawnmower Man, yeah. I went with my mate Rich at the time.
Tell us all about The Lawnmower Man, Graham.
Well, clearly someone had read that virtual reality was interesting, and so they made an entire film based on a one-page Stephen King story, from what I can gather, or 2 pages. There's not much to it, and it's literally nothing to do with it. It's just the title, I think.
I think so.
Is it Skeleton Crew that's from? I don't know much about the original story, other than I know it was Stephen King, but he didn't want credit on this. He's like, don't you dare put my name on that shit. It's a film about a guy that uses virtual reality to make a guy go super intelligent, and then obviously maniacal and despotic, and then, messianic rather. And that guy's played by
Jeff Fahey, isn't it?
Jeff Fahey, yes, with Pierce Brosnan in it as
Pierce Brosnan,
wacky professor. It's crap, and it makes you realise how far graphics have come when you watch. I rewatched it for this podcast, thinking, right, I'm going to be daring and rewatch it. I also found the director's cut. I thought, okay, I'll watch the director's cut. Wish I hadn't. So it is crap.
There's loads of monkey.
There is a lot more of the monkey. There's a stupid sequence in the beginning where they've made a super intelligent monkey that can understand English, which I still don't understand why. He wears a nappy, put him in a Robocop helmet. I mean, that must have been fun for the monkey in it. I give it that. But then give it a gun and it just wanders around shooting people angrily. He's angry for no reason, really.
That flashback sequence in that clip where he's seeing those crap graphics like he's playing a shit version of Doom.
It's so bad. All of it's bad. And it's like it assesses people, but it assesses them in English. I don't understand why they went to the extent of training a monkey to understand English. Because it's like, not threat. It's like, he puts his gun down. It's hilarious. The bit where it took, because Jeff Fahey's character, he plays a person that's obviously mentally challenged. We can't call him what they call it in the film because it's not very nice. But he's obviously got mental problems. So he thinks the monkey is actually some kind of cartoon character called Cybo Man. Now, aside from the fact that it looks not like him, and it is just a monkey in a Robocop suit, and dangerous one at that, because he has just offed about 6 soldiers in a really random, with a gun. How hard is it to shoot a monkey? I would argue not that difficult. Anyway, he somehow evades capture at this point. He goes and befriends Jeff Fahey's character, who for some reason, he's got learning difficulties. He assumes that the monkey is his friend. The monkey he sees him as non-threatening. And then they promptly come along, take the monkey out and shoot it off a tree right in front of his eyes. Not very nice, that. And it's quite a funny sequence in its own stupidity. That whole sequence, I found the whole clip on YouTube. You can go and watch that. It is genuinely hilarious in its own crazy rationale that they just entice this monkey out. He comes out holding this monkey in a Robocop helmet, who then gets frightened, runs up a tree, and they're just blasting with 1,000 shotguns. It's really funny. Anyway, that happens, and then because of reasons, Pierce Brosnan's character is despondent with his research into monkey angering, whatever the research is. It's the use of virtual reality to make people more intelligent, which it can't do and never would be able to, but for some reason in the movie it does. He then gets them. He's been playing these games, these really crap games where he's laid on his back, flying forwards, drifting through space, and it's got 3 modes: float, fly, and he's like, and that's the peak of his research. That's how far he got. I'm like, people could do that now on their phones or with Unity. But anyway, so his wife gets fed up with him because he's not paying her any attention in a really funny sequence, which is really bizarre. He flirts really aggressively with his neighbour for no reason whatsoever. Whose husband turns out to be like a child beater. It's like, he's so vicious and beaty. Anyway, cut a long story short, he entices Jeff Fahey's character, the lawnmower man. He's got this name because he mows lawns.
At the local church or something, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, he lives with a. He's been in the ward of the church since he was 5 because he's got learning difficulties. So what else do you do with him? Ma and Pa have, I guess, abandoned him. You know he's stupid, don't you, in the film? Because he wears dungarees and a red top and he looks a bit stupid and acts stupid. It's a stellar performance in its stereotypical horror, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, the funny bit comes later. So Pierce Brosnan decides that he's going to, do this sort of space age technology and strap it to, our friend. And it doesn't necessarily go as he planned, of course. It makes him super intelligent, but also crazy. He then takes revenge on all the people that mocked him. There's a guy that takes the mickey out of him all the time. He lawnmowers his brain in it's hard to explain where that film goes in its nature, but it is principally they had some 3D graphics that they were going to throw into this film at any given opportunity. They were quite advanced, I think, for the time, although I'm not so sure they were, but nowadays they look like really shit PS1 graphics. So it's like he creates a monster with a PS1. I've seen it happen. When I worked at the video shop and we rented those games out, that Tomb Raider game sent people like him. People used to bring that game in raging. And some of them early Resident Evil games, people used to go crazy when they were playing them. So I think there is a genuine case for turning monkeys into raging crazies. And of course, it was Monkey Rage that spawned 28 Days Later. So there is something in it, isn't there? There is something in it.
Angry monkeys.
Anyway, long and the short of it all is that the guy that was the lawnmower man becomes a crazy, but via the power of virtual reality, which is never really explained why it does that or how. It's just it does. It just does. But it's worth watching for the monkey sequence at the beginning and where they just shoot the monkey off the tree, which even now thinking about it makes me laugh because it's so stupid. And then the priest in it gets really angry at the guy. First of all, he's quite sympathetic, then just gets instantly enraged because
well,
whatever.
They say we're going to take you away for questioning. And he's like, who are you? You're not the police.
No, what really baffled me is that the priest is killing ants at the altar because he says he curse these godless creatures. Then he's like, listen, he goes, that sounds strange. And he's like, that sounds like Job's talking to a monkey. He looks through the window and he's like, oh my God, there's a monkey in there. So he rings the police. And luckily, the military wing of the science company, which is headed by that guy from Breaking Bad, by Hank. So Hank's face appears on this giant screen and says, go and get them. No, you can't leave the monkey there. So he sends his army of people to go and arrest a monkey. The professor insists he goes because he created this monkey Frankenstein. He coaxes him out with, don't worry, we'll look after him. And then he comes out, and as soon as he does, he just blasts him off the tree. Brilliant. But the rest of the film's rubbish. I've oversold it. Don't go and see it. It's rubbish.
You have oversold it somewhat,
but that is worth, it could be one that we have to revisit for the new variation of our podcast. We might have to lawnmower man it up.
Oh, God, I don't know.
Because the second one's even worse. The second one has the privilege of being the only film in the history of Blockbuster Video where I put a warning label inside to stop people renting it saying, please don't rent this. Don't rent this film. It's so shit. You were going to bring it back and you're going to be angry. You're going to be like an angry monkey.
If you make me watch this, I might have to make you watch Sleepwalkers again.
Oh, I could handle that. It's actually better than this, believe it or not. Not in a good way.
No, it's not.
There you go. Lawnmower man. Ugh.
Rubbish. If you didn't fancy Lawnmower Man, obviously some of us did, you could have gone and seen Rush, not the band.
Yeah, I didn't.
No, this was an American neo-noir drama, crime drama film with Jennifer Jason Leigh and Jason Patrick, based on a true story about them becoming drug addicts to infiltrate the drug thing, but, don't get high on your own supply kind of thing. And, they end up in prison. It's one of those stories. I seem to remember it being all right. I think I watched it at the time. It was a lot of people talking about it in kind of its good performances by Patrick and Lee, I think. I seem to remember. If you didn't fancy that, there was the 5 Heartbeats. I've never heard of this.
No, I hadn't.
Heard of it?
No, I'm not sure it came to the cinemas near us.
No, Keenan Ivory Wayans wrote the script, co-wrote the script, directed by Robert Townsend. Don't know what it's about. If you didn't fancy that, and Lawnmower Man or Split Second.
Neither.
You got to pick one.
I watched both of them.
I watched the trailer. I thought the trailer looked all right.
That's what everyone says about bloody Shit Second until you watch the film, and the film's nonsensical gibberish that went horribly wrong during production.
Well, I'm going to watch it, I think, just for a bit of a laugh.
You won't like yourself afterwards. You won't.
True, but it's a bit of Rutger Hauer. All right.
Yeah, that's the only thing that you can say about it. It's got Rutger Hauer in it,
and Kim Cattrall.
He hated being in it. Clearly, you can tell because you can halfway through the film, you can tell he don't want to be in that film any longer. He's like, I want out. I want done.
It seems is it some kind of alien sort of stalking 2008 London? Is that what it's about?
Yeah, they think there's an entire story. You can go and look up the sad tale of Split Second. It was a film about a serial killer that for some reason got converted into an alien.
Okay.
So, all right. And I think it's to do with. I think it had two or three different directors that wanted it in different visions. There was a lot of intervention from the studio. There was just a massively problematic production which ended up with that dog egg.
What was that one with what's his face? Kyle MacLachlan, the alien one, the alien bounty. Have they seen that? Do you think?
Yeah, it's nothing like that. But I think that I think it's sort of.
They think it's a serial killer, but it's an alien, so kind of.
Well, that's the only similarity because this.
Right.
For
I'm
some reason, they flooded London. They decided to make it all about flooded London and flood the entirety of London. So it's set during like a really flooded time. I don't quite know what that was trying to cover up. I'm guessing there's so many production problems with it that I wonder if they just used the footage they had.
Okay. I might watch it.
Should.
If you didn't fancy that, there's Turtle Beach.
No, I've never seen it.
There's Killing Beach, the 1992 Australian film, directed by Stephen Wallace, starring Greta Scacchi and Joan Chen. Judith, an Australian photojournalist, leaves her family to cover the story of Vietnamese boat people in a Malaysian refugee camp. Okay, sounds happy.
Okay.
There was also Double X, the name of the game.
I'd never heard of it.
No, but right, okay. While taking a holiday in Scotland, American traveller Michael Cooper pulls elderly man Arthur Clutton into his car following an explosion at a hotel. Cooper discovers Clutton's backstory and learns why people are out to kill him. He's played by Norman Wisdom.
Wow, that must be the last thing he ever did.
Mr. Grimsdale!
Mr. Grimsdale. I wonder if he sounds like that in it.
I don't know. I didn't think he was still making films this, but I didn't know he was still alive at this point.
No, I didn't know. Maybe is it the same Norman Wisdom? Is it?
Yes, the same Norman Wisdom. I checked because when
Man in the Moment, famous Man in the Moment, is a good film as well. Man in the Moment,
but it's Norman Wisdom. So Double X.
Okay.
I thought Double X. I thought it was going to be some Van Damme movie or something. Sounds like a Van Damme thing.
Does sound like that. I've never heard of it, but I might have to check it out now because Norman Wisdom films are always worth a laugh.
I don't think it's a comedy. But anyway, 12th of June, there was Johnny Suede. Never seen this. Yeah. Only thing I know about this is his big hair.
Yep. I don't know much about it. It rented quite a bit because of Brad Pitt.
Yeah, probably, yeah. There was also Straight Talk.
I remember the trailer for this.
Vaguely. 1992, a romantic comedy film directed by Bernie Kellman, starring Dolly Parton, James Woods, Griffin Dunn, and Michael Madsen.
Yep.
Well, okay.
Wisecracking Dolly Parton. Yeah, she becomes like a radio talk show host, but she becomes famous for her wisecracking, straight cut to the chase kind of commentary in that kind of Dolly Parton Southern Belle way. Well, I tell you, honey, you should go, take your husband and that kind of thing. And she becomes famous for it. And then comedy and romance ensues.
As I do in all good stories. 19th of June, there was Stone Cold.
Utter shite. It's utter shite.
It's Brian Bosworth, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, this is dreadful. Is he like? I mean, I suppose he's not the first one, is he? Because this is like he's trying to be Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, moving to moves, isn't he? On the back of, I suppose, Andre the Giant.
Yeah, there was a bit of. I mean, a lot of American football players had made it into acting one way or another, hadn't they?
He was a wrestler over
time.
Was he American football star?
He's American football star, Brian Bosworth. Yeah, I forget which team he was a wrestler.
For. Who am I thinking of?
There's loads of them. I'm
thinking of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ain't him.
No. Well, it would make more sense for it to be called Stone Cold and have Stone Cold Steve Austin in it, though.
Well, then maybe that's who they wanted, but this is who they got. It wasn't a great performance. His first acting role, isn't it? If you can call it acting, it wasn't a successful thing. It didn't really do very well, did it?
No. $9 million.
Utter crap.
I'm surprised he had a $25 million budget.
He made more films after that, though.
Of course they do. He's got an agent.
Don't know if it became a TV series, I think, as well. I think. Could be wrong.
We don't need that. There was also Paradise, a married couple, Melanie Griffith and Don Johnson, split by tragedy. They find healing through their summer guest, Willard Young, played by Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
For Frodo!
For Frodo. That's why they did it. That's why they got together in the end. That's the last line of the film.
Frodo!
Frodo.
The last line is that I can't carry it, but I can carry you.
Oh, I hate that bit of that film. You had to remind me, didn't you?
No, I love that bit. That's in the book.
Throw yourself in next time.
Fool of a tuck.
Fool of a tuck.
I love that bit. If you didn't want that, you could have had homework.
Yeah, saucy.
Virginia is taking a class at film school and has chosen a solo project for the class. She will secretly film herself and her ex-husband Marcello with a hidden camera while the two make love.
Penthouse Video presents.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet this rented a bit on. If this was in the video shop, I'm not sure if it was.
It didn't have that title on it. The fancy, the Literaire title. Yeah, no, it had the homework. And it would have been more obvious that it had been, a naked foot as opposed to a clothed and shoed one. But yeah, it would have rented like hotcakes, that.
Yeah, true.
Which is another film, by the way. Hotcakes is the sequel. Very popular.
Yeah, that's the English version, though. In French,
you got that hotcakes. Yeah, we've got that.
In French, it's La Cake Show. La Bonne Show. Oh, it's so cold. I can't remember.
Froid is cold, isn't it?
Froid is cold. Show is hot in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Il fait froid.
Yes,
How do
I am
remember
cold.
that stupid stuff? If you didn't fancy that was in The Eyes of the World.
You might have fancied that. I didn't see that or hear of it. No.
This made me laugh. Bruno Fournier's girlfriend, who lives in another town, doesn't believe he loves her. Therefore, he decides to prove his love by doing something crazy and ends up hijacking a school bus full of children at gunpoint to go see her.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Bought some flowers, maybe some chocolates, took to see a film, go out for a meal.
Exactly. He's gone to the Scorpio school of charm, hasn't he, there, from Dirty Harry?
Absolutely.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
Can you say I love you? Row in the boat.
I'll kill you like your mother's. I'll kill your mother's. It's so brutal, that guy in that film.
It is. This is a
So
weird idea.
He slaps that kid in that. I'm going to have to watch that film again now because that bit always cracks me up every time as well.
What, Dirty Harry?
Yeah, that bit. Because I remember that time when we were doing little short video loops and then we put a little star and like an advert at the end of it. A bit like they did in, it was Thingy that led the charge. It was Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer where they'd do like it would come up cabbages 62p. So I remember looping that. So it was just like that going gently down the street, row your boat. And then it just said row yourself a bargain, chappy 99p a tin. So probably got that video somewhere. I don't know where now these days.
Yeah, I've still got the
eggs.
There was the eggs picture of Tom Baker, but there was the clip of them falling, wasn't there, in Pink Panther Strikes Again?
Yes.
Yes, that noise.
And then you've got the 80s genitals. 80s genitals. That's on YouTube. You can check that out. It's still there. I'll put the link in the show notes for you, just for old time's sake. Oh, there were Gibbons, is there?
Yeah. Well, the thing you want us as well, the fish fingers 99 or whatever, 89p.
It is whack-a-mole in there.
Yeah.
We'll put them in the show notes for you.
What was the other one? There was Roy Scheider, wasn't there, from Jaws? Plums, strawberries, pound upon it.
Strawberries, pound upon it. We had Lazuli as well. We had Lazuli. We had Jar Jar Binks, I think was one of them. We've got The Adventures of Bubble and Guinea as well in there. I'll whack them all in the show notes for you.
Simplification of
Gibbons in there. Yeah, that's in there. Do you know the one I'd put in there, which was the song from that Sasquatch movie that that got taken down, copyright claimed and taken off.
Oh,
I know, Bigfoot didn't like it apparently.
Clearly not. Stuck his Sasquatch on it.
In the show notes, I shall put them for your viewing pleasure.
If you didn't fancy, well, it's getting a bit saucy, isn't it? There was also The Lover.
Got a few people sweaty, that one.
Yeah, French Indochina 1929. French Indochina. A French teenage girl embarks on a reckless and forbidden romance with a wealthy older Chinese man, each knowing that knowledge of their affair will bring drastic consequences to each other. Jane March on it. Got a lot of people frothing under the collar.
She really did. And very attractive.
26th of June, there was The Player.
Yeah, classic Altman.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's got the long take, hasn't it? I remember a lot. It was the 8-minute single take in this. It's ages since I watched this. I should watch it again. I remember it being very good, but it's very much a lot of people in this. There's lots of cameos and people playing themselves.
Basically all cameo. Yeah, it's pretty. It's a very film, very of its time. Very has a bit of a thing to say about Hollywood producers. I think that. Yeah.
There was also Gladiator. No, not that one. The other one.
Not the Decimus Meridius Maximus one, that one. It's the other one. Yeah, Twin Peaks guy.
The boxing one.
Yeah, it's pretty good,
James
actually.
In Twin Peaks. So this is the period where we see all the people out of Twin Peaks, like we see all the people out of Game of Thrones for a while, all in films. This is he's good in Twin Peaks. We'll get him. Be all right.
Yeah, and that takes us back to Sleepwalkers, of course, because that's got Med Mick in it.
Oh, it has, yes. Yeah, there you go. And finally, if none of those floated your boat, you could have seen Ladybugs. Now, I watched the trailer for this, and I'm not quite sure what to make of this.
No, I think Rodney Dangerfield movies can be very hit and very miss. And this is probably more miss than hit, I think. Yeah,
very odd. To climb the corporate ladder of success, a guy, Rodney Dangerfield, agrees to coach the company's all-girls soccer team with the help of his secret weapon, his fiance's son, who he gets to dress up as a girl. Yeah, I mean, it has a kind of Dangerfield. He could be quite funny in places, but that's the trouble with those films. It would be every now and again. Yes. Yeah. It is what it is. That's it. That's your TV. An odd bunch of films, an odd bunch of stuff on TV. Absolutely. Probably the highlight there is the Adam Curtis stuff, probably. Definitely, yeah. And the Lawnmower Man, just for the monkey sequence. Yeah, and the football. I probably enjoyed the football at the time. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That's amazing, that stuff. Yeah. But there you go. We're going to go away, take a quick break. We've still got 3 more games to get through and other stuff probably. So, get yourself a drink, settle in. We'll be back in a moment.
The novel Escape from the Commodore 64 by David Hearn is out now. Growing up in the 80s is a chore for Sarah, who feels misunderstood by her parents and badgered by Reese, her bothersome brother who incessantly prattles on about his treasured computer games. When Reese tells her one of the games tried to pull him inside the computer, she laughs off his fanciful fib. She waggles the joystick to disprove his fairy tale and is pulled into the computer. Now trapped in games she'd never had any interest in playing, how can she possibly beat them? With the help of feisty Nell, another trapped player, can Sarah find her way back home, or is it game over? An evil madman, a hostile planet, bloodthirsty robots, a never-ending throng of karate experts, and relentless digital soldiers will do their best to ensure Sarah never escapes. Available from Amazon and all good online retailers, find out if there's a way out of the beige bread bin of betrayal for Sarah in Escape from the Commodore 64.
And we're back. We are back to round out June 1992. 3 more games to get to. Let's not waste any time. Graham, it's straight over to you to tell us about Over the Net.
Ooh, get over the net, you. Get over my net. Not what you think this, though, is it? Could be a tennis game. It's not. It's a volleyball game, this. 11.99s, this was. 82%. Okay, pretty good scoring going on there. This was published by Genius. We are genius. We are a genius. It's the Italian bunch of coders, this. So this was coded by Luca Zari. He did Chuck Rock. Mario Carosa. He did Chuck Rock. The graphics are by Andrea Pacelli. He did Chuck Rock. Marco Carosa. He did Chuck Rock. And the musician was Paolo Predunzan. He did Chuck Rock. And Stefan Roda, who did World Cup 90. There's quite a bunch of people on there. He broke the mold, that one. Quite a few people involved in it, aren't there? Which is interesting.
Yeah.
So this is a beach volleyball game, okay? An Italian volleyball game, no less. Okay, interesting. And with some debate over its name on Lemon, actually, that. I won't get drawn into the argument that's in the Lemon comments.
Yeah, there was, wasn't there? I saw that as well.
Yeah, people getting a bit fizzy about the fact that it's, well, I call it something like what it is. It's like, well, okay, well, does it matter? It's called Over the Net. You have to get a ball over the net. It could link up with other sports, tennis, badminton, table tennis, netty ball.
Yeah, I'd have called it Chuzzwuzzer personally, but what do I know?
Yeah, netty ball for me. But there you go. What do I know? I've only played every C64 game there has ever been made. What do I know about naming things? Nothing, Adrian.
Nothing, Graham.
Nothing. Jaunty enough music, I suppose. A weird loading screen, though, animated sequence, if you want to call it that, welcomes you into this game, doesn't it? I think it looked to me like someone was having a shit or a really heavy fart, but after all these years on the podcast, I think I've just developed it as a coping strategy now to see these crappy drawing things. It's okay, animates, I suppose, the logo, and a shitting player turns and winks. Yeah, it turns and winks. I'm not sure I was ready for that, to be honest. But
I wasn't.
There we go. No, a well-drawn title screen, though, sees you able to choose some game parameters, number of sets, points on change, cup games or match, choose your teams, etc. And then into the grey sands of the beach we go. That's right. I said grey. Okay. We need to do a little bit of explanation, really. So I found some instructions for this off the Amiga version. And it says after the instruction credits, the main menu will appear. You can select from the following items. So you've got C cup, single game, demo, point on change, number of sets, player interface. Once you've selected either the C cup or single game, you'll be prompted to enter your name and configure the 2 visiting teams. Choice of teams. There's 12 teams available. I'm not sure that there are on C64, but I think there was. By positioning the arrow over the team you wish to select and pressing the fire button to change the player's name, select the name you wish to change and enter the name of the keyboard, blah, blah, blah. Finally, you must decide which players to be controlled by the computer and which will be controlled by a human. The human players are selected when a joystick appears. The computer is selected when the letters CPU appear. Thus, each of the 2 teams can be controlled by 2 joysticks, 2 CPUs, 1 joystick facing one another, but they are one.
Oh, no.
If you select C cup, which is ironic, really, in a hilarious sense, but if you select C cup, and that's SEA, not C cup as in bra size, what's the matter with 2 men wearing bras? What's wrong with that? The matches will take place in a series of seaside resort locations. A classification is gradually formed at each match between the various teams, and at the end of the tournament, the 2 teams with the lowest standing are eliminated for each location. The tournament proceeds in this manner at increasingly difficult levels up to the conquest of the much-aspired C Cup. Okay. I think aside from kind of the volcanic sands, the graphics here are actually pretty good overall in its own way. Yeah. Each side has 2 players. You control one. The CPU controls the others. Like I said, the aim of the game is it's beach volleyball. So what is it about? Well, let me explain. Beach volleyball is played by 2 teams of 2 players on a sand court with the objective of grounding the ball on the opponent's side or forcing an error. Matches are played using rally scoring, meaning a point is awarded on every serve, regardless of which team served. Games are played to 21 points and the team must win by at least 2 points. If the match goes to a deciding third set, it is played to 15 points, again, with a 2-point margin required. Are you following so far? Good. Each team is allowed a maximum of 3 touches to return the ball over the net, and players must not touch the ball twice in succession. Don't touch the ball twice, no two-baller, except after a block. There are no specialised positions, and players rotate serve only between teams, not positions. Teams switch ends of the court every 7 points or every 5 points in the third set to account for wind and sun, which I didn't know. And open hand tips or prolonged ball contact are restricted to encourage clean, controlled ball play. Are we all clear on that so far? Now, the rules of over the net are identical to those of volleyball. 3 contacts per each team. The ball must not be allowed to touch twice in succession, blah, 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 with the addition of an option which also awards a point for service out. The option was added to limit the duration of a set. The game consists of 1, 3, or 5 sets, and the game is terminated when one of the teams has mathematically won, even if all the remaining sets have not been played. Each set consists of 15 points, except when there is a point difference of less than 2. The scoreboard located next to the playing court indicates the score, the winning sets, the team colours, and who is serving. Are we all good?
Yes.
Good. During a volley, a shadow appears on the beach to indicate where the ball is. You can thereby estimate where the ball will fall, and the nearest player must go to that point to receive the volley. If the computer-controlled player does not move, this means that the human-controlled player is the nearest player and must move to the area where the ball will land. Remember, care must be given in order to anticipate your move to the area where the ball will land. Once the player is in position, press fire. Depending upon the proximity of the ball to this player, the most appropriate type of movement will be carried out automatically, including a bagger pass, a toss, or in extreme cases, a dive. The direction of the ball while doing a dive is calculated by the computer. For other shots, the velocity, direction, and arc of the ball depend entirely upon the force of your blow, the direction of the joystick, and the area of the ball you hit. To block a volley at the net, the player must move up the net and press fire with the joystick in the up position. The ball will block only if it has not crossed the net. The smash is achieved using the same technique as the jump serve. All good. All of that, really. That's kind of, it's volleyball, but that's how you do it. You control things with the joystick, of course, and a combination of timing and fire and directions will see you bumping, setting, and spiking the ball. I have no idea what I'm saying. The main sprite design here is, I thought, pretty good and looked the part in the main. They animate pretty well and they move around decently too. Good pace. I thought nice and fast. And the physics, the all-important physics, Adrian, and you know what I'm like about physics, is grounded actually and well realised. It felt like it had a decent earth basis to it. No, so it wasn't off the chart silly. It did actually feel like it had a good hand-to-ball action. You feel like you can play this, and I had some great volleys going on as well. I really got quite, into it. It wasn't so insurmountable, but it did feel sometimes like you didn't quite get to where you needed to be in time. And sometimes it felt you were doing well, other times you felt like your learning curve had just broken again. So I don't know that you could ever get really good at it because I don't know how in control of the player you actually are, other than moving him and pressing fire button like crazy in order to do something. But anyway. If anything, I think this lacks atmosphere. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd or a kind of chip sound, crowd sounds would have really helped move things along. Music would have been a really good idea too, because without it, well, it feels a bit soulless and empty. Yeah. Like, I don't know, watch the beach ball sequence from Top Gun, for example, and then remove the music and just have the basic sounds. Wouldn't be the same, would it? And that's kind of where this is at.
Or play bump set spike.
Yeah, exactly. All that said, though, there's modes of play, isn't there? 12 teams to select from, speedy gameplay, which means things do move around, and there is some fun to be had. It's expensive fun at this price, but fun nonetheless, I suppose is what you can say. The main window, by the way, of the game is actually you play in the pitch, but it actually takes up more or less the full screen of the C64, which I thought was quite nice. And the sprites are quite big on the screen. I know there's only, the four, as it were, in the ball, but it actually does look like more like an Epix game. It had the look and feel of an Epix title, this. Very much street sports volleyball a little bit, especially with the title sequence, which has got the giant sign with over the net on it. Then it's got the kind of selector, but there's just people sort of sat around looking forwards. That's very much an Epix trope, that. Very much an Epix style trope.
Also,
so they've been animated in some way.
Skate or Die and things like that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So those kind of games, it's got that vibe. That's what they've gone for, clearly. And they've kind of hit that, I think.
Yeah.
I think they've hit that. But like I said, it's a bit atmospheric. Lack of atmosphere in this. It's we've got a few volleyball games on the C64, haven't we? Over the years, we've seen a few. And most of them have been actually okay. As it goes, Bump Set Spike was pretty good. There's Kings of the Beach was pretty good. So they're not terrible games. Not this. This isn't the worst of those.
Look at Kings of the Beach.
No. It exists. It's pretty good.
It does. Yeah.
Hubbard soundtrack. But this is just a bit expensive, I think, and it needed more in-game life to give it that little bit of a bump. in the atmosphere department. Without it, it can start to feel a bit long, and the sessions feel a bit long and thankless and a bit absent of atmosphere. And that's in these kind of games, you really need that. Just think about Bump Set Spike and how that's driven along by that amazing Hubbard soundtrack, and that sort of gives you everything you need to know. I don't know, without this, a bit long and thankless, that sort of sounds a bit like the description of one of Brown Sauce's last trips to the toilet to me. But at the same time, this game I thought was, I actually did have quite a bit of fun playing it. I just felt like it just, like I did with Arnie, I just felt like as I was progressing through it and playing it, it just felt a bit quiet. And I was kind of expecting it to have a bit more, life. And those sounds aren't difficult to introduce in a C64. I'd have happily settled for just like sound or, like, the usual. We've had it in millions of games of this type, and it works. Think of all the Epix games, all the Winter games, World games where you've got little bits of sound. It's all it needed, a bit of that. Without that, it felt a bit weird. But it is playable, and it is quite well put together. And I think it could have just done with yellow sand, I think, as well. But other than those gripes, the price is probably the biggest killing point for it, really. I think it's a lot to pay for when you've got budget Bump Set Spike out. So I enjoyed what I played, but it's not the greatest one. But it did have its, it did play the physics out well. I'll give it that. What about you?
I wasn't sure about this one. There's some good presentation here, nice touches around the edges. Like you said, very Epix-like, nice front end, some visuals and everything are good. I just found it incredibly hard to read where the ball was going. I don't know why. I never get to it. And to do any kind of decent return, it felt like sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. My computer buddy, Bob, he must have been so pissed off with me because I just ran around the court waving my hands at empty air as the ball hit the sand next to me time and time again. I was like, oh, God's sake, I couldn't return for shit. I found serving weird as well because I'd always sort of serve too early that it would just seemingly bounce off my head and go across the thing. And I couldn't aim it or do the jumps. I just couldn't get the movements right. I couldn't get the controls down. So, and like you said, I'm not sure about the grey sand either. It makes it feel like I'm playing on some weird concrete.
Yeah, it's like volcanic sand, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's something about this. I couldn't. I played it. I tried several sets. I just couldn't get on with this. Despite the fact that it runs well, it looks pretty nice. Good animations, good sprite work. All the front end is really good. There's, I like the menus and stuff. I had no issue with any of them. There's something about trying to read where the ball was going. I just couldn't get. I just don't know. There was some of my brain was not computing, and I was always like, I was thinking, right, it's going there. I'd stand there to hit it, and it would land behind me. I was like, what's?
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. So after a while, I just got frustrated with the whole thing and turned it off because it just wasn't clicking. Something about it wasn't clicking. I'd never had that problem with Bump Set Spike, but something in this just wasn't working for me.
I wonder if a little bit of that is because it has a lack of atmosphere. It doesn't kind of engage you. So it's not like because I think if it had sounded like more fun, you might have had a little bit more fun with it. But because it doesn't have that, it makes it feel a bit pedestrian and a bit frustrating. And if you're hitting that barrier, there's no fun to drive you over it. Yeah,
maybe, probably. And like what? Because you start off serving, and then they get the serve, and your computer opponent returns it. And I could generally do the bump. I could generally do the set, so I could get those right because you do that, and I get that. But then as soon as we lost the point and they were serving again, I had to try and block. But as soon as they were serving again and I had to return it, game over. I was like, I couldn't return it for shit. So I don't know. It's not a bad game, I don't think. It just didn't click with me. So I think, you can't like everything. And this one just didn't connect with me. Maybe some time with it would help, but I just found the controls just a bit too woolly and imprecise. I just never in the right place.
No. And of course later they do Chuck Rock these guys, and that gets quite a high score in Zapped, doesn't it? So
it does. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm no actual, the technical side of this is very good. It does look good. All the visuals are very nice. It plays well. The physics are good and stuff. I just couldn't. Either my depth perception was broken, or it just was something going on. But I preferred Bump Set Spike.
Yeah, no, that is better.
Simpler
and cheaper.
And was cheaper, and this came out ages ago. Yeah, but it is what it is. That's so I just didn't connect with this. But I think it is probably me rather than the game, because I think the game probably plays well. As you found out, you enjoyed it more than I.
Yeah, it was all right what I played, but it did get a bit thankless.
Yeah. There we go. That's over the net. Let's move on. Got more sports coming up. And Graham, they're back. We haven't seen them for a while, but they're back. And yes, I am, of course, talking about cult games.
Oh, God help us.
They're back to offer more budget sporting entertainment. And this time we have Soccer Rivals for the princely sum of £3.99. Released across all three 8-bit formats at the time. So Amstrad, Spectrum and C64. I reckon the original version on this was the Spectrum, or Amstrad probably, by the looks of it. Credits of this, the credits of this are Paul Watson and Stephen Kay as the creators. This conversion, though, was by Richard Number 2. Number 1 was clearly obviously busy. So bring out the clone. Where's Richard? Oh, he's busy. Get the clone in.
Get Richard Number 2 out.
Richard 3? Richard the 3rd? I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, it said Richard Number 2. Weird thing. Anyway, according to instructions, this is a football management game for 0 to 3 players. 0 to 3. 0? Would anyone ever do that? Buy this and just let it play itself?
Dipshits.
Awesome. It goes on to say, compete with friends or computer in a bid to become the top manager. Soccer Rivals is based on a board game format, but includes all the trials and tribulations of real football management.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So the game loads up. We have the board. There's no title screen to this as per se, or so much, but it's just there's the board in sort of inset into the middle of the screen. It doesn't take up the full screen. It's laid out like Monopoly board, like the Monopoly board. So you've got things around the edges, it's squares around the edges. There's 34 squares around the edges, 2 sides of 10 and 2 of 7. In the background, in the middle, there's kind of a sort of a menu bit. We have a strange sort of graphical effect of a sort of cycling grey background and some credits. Pressing any key gets us a little graphic of a guy controlling a football and shooting it towards the goal. It's just like, well, okay, that's kind of I wasn't expecting that, but all right. Before we get asked to start a new game or not, obviously you can save the game when you're in it. Choosing yes lets us put in our 3 players. You have to play solely three players. You can't play any other way. It's 3 players. The reason you can do 0 is because it asks if it's a human or computer. You can put them all to computer, I suppose, if you wanted to just do that. I don't know why you ever would, but you can. No. So you can have, 1 player, 2 computer, 2 players, 1 computer, 3 players, whatever you want. Then you get to enter your name. So I was playing against Bob and Egg. You then get to choose the skill level from 1 to 5. There's nothing in the instructions as to what this affects. Like, what's it affect? It's a football management game. I don't why there would be a difficulty slide. It's just as you progress, it gets harder, surely. You get to pick your team then from 32 available for each player. So there's 32 teams, a decent selection. There are 4 divisions in this. Each division is made up of 8 teams. So it's not a football management. This is not a football management game in the way we expect to see football management game. It's a board game with football management elements. You have to think of it like that. Okay. So once that's done, you're into the game. As in Monopoly, all the spaces around the edge have different effects. And these are the following. So you've got a telephone. This is the utilities. This square allows you to purchase one of 3 important items. You can put more seats into your ground. Your initial capacity is 10,000. It can be increased up to 40,000 by buying seats at £50 each. I love the fact that you can just buy 1 seat.
Why not?
Just buy 1 more seat, 50 quid. All right, where are we putting it? Just put it there. Surely you buy a stand.
It would make more sense, but 1 seat at a time.
Where are they going? You can buy cameras. You start the game with no security cameras. You can purchase up to 8 cameras for £10,000 each. That's an expensive camera. Each camera can survey 5,000 fans. If any of the crowd are not covered by cameras, then crowd violence may occur.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Or you can coach and youth team. Helps when landing on the extra training square and also allows players to join your team from the youth team. Choosing this option when you have already obtained a coach and youth team will give you the chance to part with them. I don't understand this. The cost for a coach and youth team corresponds to the present division. Following that.
Okay, no.
There's the sale square. This means there's a player for sale. A player will be offered for sale to all managers. The player's position and skill rating will be displayed together with a minimum sale price. Each manager enters an individual bid with the person who landed on square having a slight advantage. Note. When there are 2 to 3 human managers, it is advised that the bids are entered blind to the other players. Look away. Okay. Look away from the screen.
Look away from that screen.
There's an S for seller player. You can sell as many players as you like until you refuse an offer. You cannot sell an injured player, though.
No.
There's a pound sign, which is a lucky or bad day. This square deals with momentary problems. A randomly chosen card is picked from a set of 15. Each card will either be bad, whereupon the amount shown will be debited from your account, or it could be good, increasing your account, get some money. So, you've won second prize in a beauty contest, that kind of thing. Then there's the exclamation mark. This is squad dilemma. The square deals with the problems facing the squad. A randomly chosen card is picked from a set of 15. There are 4 types of card. New players, retirements, increased player skill, decreased player skill.
Yep.
Then there's a set of dumbbells. This is extra training. Landing on this square gives you the chance to put any player of your squad through extra training. Any player that comes through training successfully will have their skill rating increased by 1. Beware. Choosing a player for extra training without a coach could result in skill rating going down. For me, nothing ever happened. It just went, no, he's not improved. I was like, oh, useless. There's a skull. This is where basically go to jail. Oh no, it's free parking in the space.
Yeah.
This is crisis. Avoid the square at all costs. You will lose players.
Oh no.
I know. Then there's the hit the target, which is a leg and a ball. I'll come to that in a bit. So in the middle of the board, there's all the stats for the current player and options for the game. So you've got your list of players, money, ground, how many seats you've got, all those kind of things, how many cameras you've got. Oh, that's all sort of contained in the middle of the board. At the bottom, you can choose to roll the dice and move your piece around the board. It's weird, this. When you select move, there's no animation or indication as to what number you got. So your piece just moves until it stops. You're like, okay. I don't know if you're rolling one dice or two. Who knows? And then, obviously, it stops on one of the action squares. And then whatever happens from those that I've just read out. You can opt to change your team. You can swap players in and out, change your formation, and also select ATS, which stands for automatic team selection. Quite good. And that kind of works. I bought someone, picked the ATS, and it swapped them in and swapped the bad player out. So that does actually work. There's a weird bug in this as well, that if you go to change your team and you pick someone, if you then pick them again, they just disappear.
Okay.
So I just had a space. I was like, oh, I've got a space. But I then pressed ATS and then put it back in. I was like, okay, that's kind of lucky. It's weird, but the ATS does actually work. It will put, and I changed my formation as well. And then when I picked ATS, it put the right players in the right things. So the players, there's no player names to this. It's all just goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, attacker. And they've got a skill level as well. And it's just one number. Their skill is denoted by one number, 1 to 9, I think.
Fair enough.
That's it. You can look at the fixtures for that week to see who you're playing, and the tables. There's some options to save or load a game. Also, as well, when you're looking at the fixtures, it basically asks you what division you want to ask. So look at 1 to 4. So you start in Division 4. So you press 4, and then there's the 4 games, because there's only 8 teams. So there's only 4 games a week. You can press your match, and a little camera will come up next to it. And that enables you to see highlights of the game, which is quite nice. That's actually quite a nice little touch. So you just see the highlights from your game, or whichever game to play in. The others, you just get the results from. But that's all right. Once you choose to roll the dice and move, you land on a square and then do whatever that square contains. Then player 2 goes and player 3. They can option to change players, buy stuff. When there's an auction, it says player 1, how much you want to bid, player 2, player 3. And if you buy it, you can flip around and things like that. Once these are all done, you can select to play the matches for the week. Now, like I said, the fixtures, you can select to watch highlights of any game. If you don't select that for any of them, you simply just get the results, almost like a video printer for Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, Division 4. You'll get the results that come through. There's no in-game highlights if you haven't chosen any.
No.
If you do select the highlights, you get some simple visuals at the bottom. Like as a little guy, he'll get the ball and it says who it is, whether it's Liverpool, Liverpool if you're playing Liverpool and the opposition. And it'll be like they get the ball and they'll shoot and it'll either say saved or goal and it'll carry on like that. It's fine. It's a little bit of action, I guess. It's not much, something to liven things up. After the results, you get the match stats, including money earned. You can actually press the space bar to get through them quite quickly if you want, which again, rather than waiting around. And then you back to the board, you do it all again. It's a board game. You go around the board, you play through a season, so and so and so and so and so. Okay. I thought at first, this was going to be garbage. When I first looked at it, I went, But after playing this for a little while, I settled on the feeling that this is okay for what it is. I came to this is not bad. This is a budget football management football management board game. We don't get many of them. I don't know just how varied the outcomes from the various squares are. There's 15, obviously, but it is what it is. They add some variety to proceedings, kind of like the chance and the community chess cards in Monopoly. And the little skill test, because when you get the football and the ball, if you land on that, you can you get 3 options: near, far, near, medium, or far. And basically, what it is, your little player, that little player you get on the highlights and stuff, will be kicking a ball and sort of either close to you, medium, or far away. There'll be a sort of scrolling effect, and it's got a little sort of square on it, a rectangle, solid square, and some wavy lines. That's sort of going in a cycle. You've got to press spacebar or S, to kick that ball. It'll go across, and if you hit the square, you get some money. And that's it's quite a little skill test. You get more money if you hit the one far away. The computer is the savant and will just hit the far away ones all the time. I managed to do one nearby, so I was quite happy with that. That's a bit of interaction. The ability to watch highlights, they're very basic. From chosen games, you pick the games you want to look at. Is another good touch. And despite the rather basic visuals, simple inputs, it's easy to control and navigate this. It moves at a decent pace as well, I thought. You're not waiting too long for the computer to do its thing. It moves, it does its move, it buys stuff, it enters money if it wants to buy stuff. it goes along at a fair pace with 3 players, that would be fine. And I don't know how deep the simulation is behind the scenes. It's probably not much. I didn't see any outrageous scores, though, or anything that made me laugh, as I've seen in some of these games where you get stupid high scores. The scores were like 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. You know, what you'd expect. I've played through a few games. And so that's all right. It's not a Football Manager game, though. So maybe it would have been nice to have some input on the games once they're being played. All you get is the result, you know, substitutes at half-time maybe or something. But, you know, and that's a bit of a letdown. You can't influence anything once the option to play the match is chosen. There's no way to see previous results, which would have been good to see as well. It shouldn't have got 83% this. I'll say that. No, I don't think. Unless Zapped played it all amongst themselves and had a bit of a laugh, which I imagine is the only way you're going to get this gets that score. But it's not that good on your own. It gets a bit boring, I think, pretty quickly. I imagine by 1992, this would have been a hard sell to get your mates on board for a game like this. You know, the Amiga's out for ages. There's loads of really good multiplayer games. Street Fighter 2's about. You know, there's you know, would you like to play this Spectrum-esque looking, really, really silent board game thing? You know, Brian Clough's is a better game than this for the board game thing because it comes with the board game and everything. But if you haven't got that space and you just want to play on your own, okay, fine. It could have looked a little nicer, perhaps. It looks like a Spectrum game, but for a budget board game, I didn't think this was too bad. I'd put it somewhere in the upper 50s, perhaps, because it works. Maybe even low 60s, because the random board game element works and does add another element to proceedings. It's certainly one of the better cult game offerings we've ever seen, that's for sure. And I know that's not saying a great deal. This reminded me of playing Premier Manager with my mate Sean when we were at university together, and I've spoken about it before. And that was a Football Manager game, multiplayer Football Manager. Didn't have the board game thing, but watching the highlights at the end of the games was exciting because we were both watching them and that kind of thing. And I can imagine if you had managed to get someone else involved in this, maybe a parent or something might have joined in, or an older brother or a younger brother or sibling, you might have had a bit of a laugh with this, just sort of like, haha, your team's rubbish. On its own, though, it lacks a bit because it's a bit on the dull side. I didn't think this was terrible, but it's not 83% good. I may be being good crying to it, and it may have caught me on a good day, but that's my thoughts on it. What did you think?
Well, I'm not going to rave about a game that I literally had no interest in whatsoever.
No.
I mean, you clearly got a lot more out of it than I was even willing to put in. I thought, my initial thought was that it looked like a game that had been designed by someone that was obsessed with postage stamps and printed Dymo label makers.
It's not. It doesn't look great. I'll give it that. I know.
I mean, the obvious thing here is what they've done. So they've taken a football management type game and all the elements that would otherwise be random things that occur in that game, they've simply attributed them to a board. And you go around, that's not a bad idea. And it is different. I'll give it that. It's a different take on the idea of that. And then maybe it's an in for people that don't want the full complexity of their otherwise dreary simulations. And they've added a little board game randomness to it. All right, I get it. Maybe that's the trouble with this game was it was about 5 years too late.
Yes.
But other than that, I can't form a proper opinion on it. It was never going to be a game I was going to get into. Literally nothing about it interested me whatsoever. Not the look and feel, not the game, not the actual thing it was doing. But I can see that what they were trying to do, at least, is something different. A board game inspired sort of football-ish manager type thing, not a bad idea in of itself. And the implementation is what it is for the budget money. It's just never going to tickle my fancy. But there you go. I can't imagine there's going to be a lot of people wanting to play it at this point.
No.
I mean, but it's at least they had the courage to release it, and it scored well in Zap. Maybe, like you said, they did the 3-player thing. I just think a 1-player variant of this was a dreary experience. But I'm not into football, nor am I into anything about this, so it was never going to be ticking my boxes.
No,
it's certainly not the worst game we played, though. I'll give it that, and it's certainly the best one of their games. But
yes.
It is, expect postage stamps and Dymo labels for an interface if you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
other than that, good to go.
Yeah, exactly. It is exactly what it is, but it has a pace. It's not slow. So it could have been really dull and boring and struggle to sort of run, but it doesn't.
It's not pretending to be something that it's not.
No.
It's not trying to dress itself up. It is a board game about football, and if you look at it that way, there's probably something in it. If this was an actual board game, I imagine there's probably good fun to be had with a few players, but people playing it as an actual board game with pieces and cards and stuff that happen.
Yeah, like Brian Clough's.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not a bad idea. But it was never my cup of tea.
No, I understand that completely. And there you go. That's Soccer Rivals. We've seen a lot worse. Right, we've got one game left, Graham. One game. Let's see what that's all about. because it's your turn to tell us. I think, have we seen him before? Is he back?
Yes,
Is Seymour? This time Seymour goes to Hollywood.
Yeah, it could have been C less for me. This was $3.99 budget game. It was 59% though from Zap. Okay. Published by Codemasters, like I say. Conversion here's by Andy Torkington. Now he did, because this was originally a Spectrum game, converted to the C64 by Andy Torkington. He did Dizzy Spellbound, Can't You Just Tell? And the title screen is by Chris Graham. He did Dizzy games mainly, but also Rockstar Ate My Hamster, that kind of thing. Spectrum games mainly. Or Spectrum looking games. Yeah, and the musician here is Alistair Brimble. He did all the Dizzy games, didn't he? And Murray Mouse. Remember he did that?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, so what's the story here? Well, I found this was out in all the different formats, so I found the Amiga story. Somehow they managed to make an Amiga look like a Spectrum. That takes some achievement, doesn't it? That's good going.
Wow.
Anyway, so let's talk about the what it's about. It says, join superstar Seymour in his Hollywood debut. Make it in the movies, that's the plan. Meet frightening Frankenstein, evil Ding the Merciless, bash the big King Bong, and find Rick Brace's true love. Okay. Seymour's big break. Seymour has got his first big break. He used to star in the latest blockbusting movie. He turns up to work on his first day, only to find the studio in pandemonium. I feel like we've heard this story before in a different game. The stupid director, Dirk Findelmeyer II, has left for holiday in Miami, leaving all the scripts locked away in the safe. Seymour thinks there is something decidedly sinister going on until when he discovers Tarzan with a speech impediment, a body in the study, and lifts don't work. Dun, dun, dun. Help Seymour get his movie to the box office. The film has been sabotaged. The scripts have been locked away in a safe. Tarzan can't speak a word of English and the security guard won't let you in. Move Seymour around the various parts of the map by walking left and right and jumping. Therein lies the real crux of that game. Collect the objects and solve the puzzles. A puzzle is solved by standing next to it and using or giving a correct object. That sounds like a walk and seek game, doesn't it? And I'll give you the hints and tips, Adrian, because you'll need them. Avoid jumping into fans. That's just a good old-fashioned given, that one, isn't it? Pippa, the secretary, can help you. Yeah. Try opening all the doors and draw a map of the studio to stop yourself getting lost. If you enjoyed this game, look out for other great Seymour film adventures. Don't do that because you won't. Right. Okay. Another Spectrum conversion. A Dizzy-alike, isn't it? With see-through graphics. An eggish-shaped thing to move around the world of badly animated Spectrum backgrounds, picking stuff up, jumping over stuff, and otherwise wandering around lost. Here we control Seymour, a knows what of a sprite. I mean, I don't know what the fuck he is. I don't know. Is he an egg? I don't know. He's not in the Dizzyverse, is he? Well, maybe he is. I don't know. It's kind of a lumpy thing, isn't it? What the hell is Seymour? I don't know, and I don't care. What he isn't is an egg. But he may as well have been. You control this arsehole with the joystick, jumping and walking and getting run over by badly animated cars. Some screens feature slowdown too, which I find visually and orally repulsive. There is music from Ali B, of course, in this, old Alistair Brimble. It's okay, if not a bit twiddly, busy, and nondescript. Of course, unfortunately, those aren't the words you want to describe that with. No. After the Spectrum-looking loading screen, the Spectrum-looking title screen will appear, and press fire to get things going in this Spectrum-looking game. This is a flick screen, quote-unquote, adventure, using the middle of the C64's display for reasons of pure conversion. So it's like a block in the middle. Yeah. Top of the game block is the indecipherable UI. I don't know how to describe whatever the hell that was. Just, I don't know what it is. I can't explain what it's. I don't know. I've tried to think about how I could explain what that is. I don't know. It's got an O at the top and there's some kind of green, goofy looking. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Is he in a barber shop? I don't know. It's imperceptible. It's the most confused UI I've ever seen in my life. Under that monstrosity, there lies the game, which, as per usual, and this kind of thing, is a collection of thinly drawn and coloured Spectrum versions of whatever the hell they were trying to draw in the first place. Hollywood, I guess. I think. I hate these games, Adrian. I hate them. There, I've said it. With Dizzy, it just about gets away with it because it's a bloody egg. But Seymour, though, it harks back to the older days of the crappy block-for-block Spectrum conversions that require little effort to actually do. Push data around the screen with the CPO and just accept that that's going to slow down. No, I do not accept it. Not in 1992, I don't. There are puzzles in this, I don't doubt, and maybe someone likes mapping dreary Spectrum-converted shite, and maybe they'll get a momentary erection, or flutter, or both, as they giddily scribe the rooms, background items, and all of the crappy flip screen things that you can fill your boots with. The sprites flicker in here, Adrian. Flicker! At certain points, it went transparent as well. What the hell is this? Why are Codemasters mass converting everything that is shit out of a Spectrum's dying throes anyway? This is the 8-bit equivalent of the human centipede. I hate this in a way that Gollum hates things forever. It's a bad Spectrum conversion of a We hate it. We hate it forever. I would describe the game itself interface, and I'll describe it to you very simply, okay? The main game window, there's stuff in the background and you walk around on it or through it in a horrible, transparent way. That's all there is. That's it. It's a bad Spectrum conversion of a game that is about as cute as a puddle of vomit. It plays sluggish and slow, reminding everyone at every opportunity how an inferior game runs on a superior system if you systematically avoid everything that makes that system better. Vic chip? Nah, mate, we don't need that. SID chip? What's that for? Push everything around with the CPU. That's the Chicago way, isn't it? Not for me, this.
You bring a Vic chip to a fight.
Exactly. Just like a Spectrum coder brings a Spectrum to a Vic chip. You idiots. You fools. Anyway, not for me, this. I no longer want to wander around badly rendered flick screen worlds dressed as a transparent potato. F*** that shit. Get f***, Seymour. I hope you drown in a puddle of urine. I hated this game. I hated it with a passion. It reminded me, and it was kind of the Spectrum straw that broke the camel's Spectrum-y back for me. I've had enough of them. 1,700 games we've played, Adrian, and these things are still churning out. Wander around the Spectrum worlds with Spectrum-looking graphics and a Spectrum-y way, with Spectrum-y sound and Spectrum-y stupid colour clash, with Spectrum-y shading on its Spectrum-y fucking walls. I hated every single second this stupid, crappy game. It's crap. It's utter crap. Go and play Spellbound or any of the other games that are better. Any of them. And I don't say that lightly because I didn't really like them. This one is just, this was one too far for me. I've played enough of these games. And you know what? There's 100 million more of these fucking games. Dizzy games. There's loads of them. Just all there with the egg jumping around, Spectrum-y worlds. We had one the other week. What was that crappy one that we played? The mouse one the other week. This is basically the same. I think it's Murray Mouse. It's the same. It's the same bloody thing. It's the same game. Now, is there a market for these now? There must be. I mean, the Spectrum is dying at this point, just like the C64 is. I'm sorry to say this, Spectrum owners. I know you herald it with great reverie. I'm sure you're all there getting giddy about this game. Maybe you are. But that machine was dying just like the C64 was dying. And its death throes as it's thrashing itself to death with its colour clash. Did it really want to be shitting these things out and people are actually wanting to play them? No. There's a reason why budget games exist and they rehash the games that were before at a cheaper price because they were quite good. Don't make new versions of these things and shit them out like this and then expect people to get away with it on a C64. No. Budget Armalite came out only a couple of months ago. Armalite. When you put that next to this, really? A budget price? Are you mental? IK Plus is out. IK Plus, 3 massive sprites fighting. And then you put it side to side with this. No more of this now. I've had enough. It broke the camel's back. Sorry to say it did. And I'm sorry if it's got me sweary, but you know what? This is just a Dizzy game with a potato in it, and it's not very good. And I don't really like Dizzy games, but they get away with it because I've got a thing about eggs. Other than that, this game and everything it stands for. Don't play it. I did because you didn't have to. And I really mean that. Don't. See Less goes to Hollywood. Don't go there. It's not even called that, is it? It's called something else as well. It's got another stupid name. Rubbish. What about you?
This is why we don't get asked to do panels at conferences.
It really is.
This is why. Someone asked that you're doing a talk. Like, no, we wouldn't get asked. We should get asked, but just, yeah. What do
you think about Seymour Goes to Hollywood, Abby? Just put my hand over the mic. Let me tell you.
This is why we don't. Anyway, no. I've written the same. No. They're my first 2 words.
No more.
These bloody awful find and seek Spectrum ports need to stop. I thought they had, so why are they back? Why? And I've written, what the hell is Seymour as well? It's bad, this. A bad port replete with horrible slowdown, terrible screens to try and navigate your way through. What's with crossing that road? The game slowed down so much that it felt almost impossible to do anything there. And I'm so bored and annoyed by these kind of games that I had no will to try and figure it out.
Nope.
I never realised just how many of these god-awful things were produced back then. Now I do.
Yep.
And I resent the fact that I have that knowledge.
Same.
I have nothing good to say about this. Maybe the music was okay, but it still felt a bit shrill to my ears. Oh, and I got stuck in the footwell of the car and it took me ages to do the pixel-perfect jump to get out. Sod off. There you go.
Sod off, Seymour, you little shit. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. What is he? What is it?
No. The only Seymour I like is the one in Little Shop of Horrors.
I mean, if you've cracked the cutesy little character code with a dizzy little egg shape with the smiley face and its arms and legs, then why go to the extent of creating one that's ugly and horrible and then try and pass it off as cute? It's like, no, it's not. You don't see Mario and then you see his ugly twin brother come along, Vario. No, it's like it's a Vario game. He's an ugly shit, isn't he? What is it?
Wario.
Yeah, but he's not. It's not like he's still a reasonable looking character. He doesn't look like a fucking humpback potato, does he?
No, I suppose not. No, Luigi. Waluigi. No.
And they invent games, don't they? Invent new games for those people to play. This is just a rehash of a Dizzy game with a up potato in it.
It is. I mean, I'm fed up with these. Just walk and find. It's just boring. They're just boring.
Yeah.
They're just really, really
I'm
boring.
Going to have to, the bleep machine's going to go into overdrive for this review.
I think it really might do. Yeah.
It's too much for our brain to handle.
We are available for children's parties if you want us.
Yes, if you do want to invite us to give any kind of talks at these events, maybe just avoid this game.
Yeah, we'd love to give a talk. It'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I could tell you all about it, but not this game. I don't want to talk about it after this.
Yeah, children's parties, bar mitzvahs, we'll do anything.
Novelties, party tricks.
Indeed. There you go. That's the way to end the episode at the end of the month of June. Seymour goes to Hollywood, and he can stay there.
Yeah, stay there. Don't come back, you little shitbag.
We don't like you. That's it. So this week, Arnie was okay. We liked Arnie. That was pretty good. G-Loc was a bag of shite.
Yeah, rubbish.
Over the Net was decent enough. It just didn't click with me, but you liked
it. Bit monotonous.
Yeah, I think Soccer Rivals was okay for what it was.
Just not my thing.
Budget board game thing. Seymour Goes to Hollywood was a travesty.
Egg off.
Well, egg would have been better.
Egg. Well, yeah, it would have been, but it's a dog egg, not an actual egg.
Yeah, that's true. There were a lot of budget releases. See, this is the thing, right? That's just come out £3, right?
Yep.
This month, you could have bought Turrican 2 for £4.
That's what I mean. It's like, what are you doing?
Not only that, right? Puznik, that was pretty good.
That was good.
Pro Tennis Tour, I think that was okay.
Right. Yeah.
Micro Pro Soccer.
£4. Why would you even be looking at this Seymour game?
Escape from Planet of the Robot Monsters. That wasn't
great. So good. No.
Castle Master. That's still updating. Iron Man Stewart Super Off-Road Racer. That was good.
That was all right. Yep.
Manchester United. You got Micro
Soccer. You get the whole team for that.
Yeah, true. And Myth.
Yeah, that's another good game at £4. That wow, it's amazing.
I'll have Seymour. I mean, you might have already had Turrican 2 or Myth, but £4. Those are right bargains, aren't there?
Yes.
£12. You could have Turrican 2, Micro Soccer, Iron Man for £12. I'd have gone for.
Yeah.
Or maybe Myth. Yep. Yeah, Myth as well. Puznik was a good. I think that was a good puzzle one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I see you've put some game art in here, Graham.
I have. It's a new section, but it's a variation of a section. So we normally have crapverts, don't we? But I'm calling these the Sean Connery crapverts. So these are the Sean Connery crapverts. So they're not crapverts. These are Gamebox shart. So they actually are shart.
Okay.
And that's, we're inventing a word, but we're giving it some legs. So they're just the Gamebox version of crapverts because they're still adverts, technically, aren't they?
Oh, so.
And guess what game's at the top of that list, Adrian?
I don't know. Tell us, Graham. What is it?
It's Seymour Goes to Hollywood, isn't it? Because it's just nonsensical crap. And it doesn't give you an indication of what the hell that thing is either when you look at that, does it? What is it?
No, it's a mega game. Your Sinclair mega game. I hate that. Your Sinclair mega game on a Commodore 64 front box. Don't give me your Sinclair nonsense.
I get the Frankenstein reference on it and the fact that they've put Hollywood on there, because that's the name of the game. But why has it got an angry parrot?
Well, I want to go. The Scarecrow is obviously Wizard of Oz. There's a pirate though sticking his head up. Look, that's what the parrot's from. So
is that Treasure Island?
Probably.
What the hell's that got to do with anything? Why? What does it all mean? He's holding a Oscar that's covering its eyes. Yeah, it's just crap. It's the potato holding a scroll with the giant, greasy, grippy hand. He's obviously wearing marigolds, blue marigolds, with a big round foot. What is that? That's not cute, is it? That's terrifying, whatever that is.
It's that's a straight to video chud type thing, isn't it? In the 1980s,
it is. And the Seymour writings, and that's the actual Seymour writing itself that's okay, and for what it is, it's not too bad. But the Goes to Hollywood bit's an afterthought. It's just not very well presented, considering where we're at in the scheme of designs. This is not very well done. And to top it all off, they've shaded him with that weird bloodish kind of pink. It looks like he's just been, I don't know.
What's the background behind him, by the way, that the Frankenstein's looking at? What's that blue background with the bats on?
It's like a horror bats thing. I don't get it. That's why I put it in. It makes literally no sense. It's nothing to do with Hollywood. There's so many ways you could have depicted something about Hollywood. That isn't it. Makes literally, and to the audience of 1992, none of that would make any sense. Because all those characters of classic Hollywood make no sense to kids that were born in the frigging 80s, do they?
No, they don't.
No, absolutely shite. Absolute shite, that.
It's not good.
Proper old crappy game box. Sean Connery is not happy with that. He's gone full Zardoz on that. He's wearing his mankini and he's getting cross about it.
Absolutely. What's the other one you put in here?
So this is from the same episode. This is Soccer Rivals. Now, the reason I put this in there is because I just found that the face of one of the football players, he just didn't look right.
Well, both of them don't.
No.
The one on the left looks like he's trying to work out an equation, and the one on the right is looking like he's wondering where the other guy's arm is going.
Well, yeah, and aren't they a little bit old? The one on the left, is he a bit old for a footballer? I mean, he looks like he's in his sort of mid-60s and mid-50s, 60s, I don't know.
He's wondering where his pipe and slippers are. Why am I on a football pitch?
Why is Soccer Rivals at that weird jaunty angle?
I don't know. The weird thing is like, you would think that the thing to do with this would have been the rivals coming out of the R at the bottom of soccer.
Yes, I'm glad you caught that.
Because that would be the sensible thing, but they haven't done that. They've done soccer and rivals, which is not even at a right angle to it.
No, it's not even it's not even at the correct angle or the correct space. And it actually looks like it's in the way. So I think I'm thinking what they were aiming for here is a kind of cross the ball idea, but it's not on the ball, which would have made sense if they'd have done that. If the ball would have been like in the middle of that, but there's no kinetic energy in any of it, which is normally what you'd see. There's no like move lines or anything like that. So those are just frozen in that space. And he is just there going, E equals MC's cubed.
What am I doing here? And also, what have they done with the V and the A?
Why have they merged them? Because they couldn't fit the word rivals on the box. That's
but
why.
They would have been able to if they'd have put the R coming out of the R from end of soccer to do rivals.
Exactly. See, that's officers thinking that, Adrian. They didn't think of that, did they? Why has it got the word Commodore 64 in blood red? Well, blood over a blood red banner at the top. It's so bleak.
It's I mean, I'll give it its due. They're not badly drawn.
No.
They're not badly drawn. I've seen worse. They're old and a bit weird. And I don't quite, and
they are actual football teams, I think, at this, looking at the kit.
Well, I'm going to say probably. I mean, it's probably either Villa or West Ham, and I was going to say probably maybe Forest. Not Forest, I'm thinking. That red one.
Yeah.
So they're not bad. I mean, he's wearing his Adidas 2-stripe.
He is there, and the other guy's he's clearly got an orthopedic shoe though, hasn't he, on his left foot there.
Absolutely.
He's got a really little foot. That would be a disadvantage to a footballer, having one little foot, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I reckon this is a picture they've just sort of got and someone's just traded. I don't mind it, but his shorts are a bit odd. There's no middle crease.
No, there isn't.
It's just it doesn't look like a pair of shorts. It just looks like a sort of piece of cloth across his front.
It's a towel.
Shorts have a middle crease.
He does, yeah. He's literally just jumped out the shower in a towel and he's just gone to play football. I forgot my shorts. Oh, I should have studied.
Absolutely. Like the guy on the guy on the left he's studying hard at that moment.
He absolutely is, yeah.
He's
clearly that's what am I doing here? I'm way too old to be playing football at this level.
I just don't understand the angle of the lettering. No. How'd you get that wrong?
No, exactly. So I thought they were humorous, for us to look at. We'll put them in the usual place. So.
Yeah, that's soccer, right? It's so easy. Obviously, just do the R.
See, that makes too much sense. So in order to mitigate that problem that they invented themselves, they had to merge the V and the A to make it literally make no real sense. So it looks kind of weird.
It really does.
Bless him. Bless him anyway. Yeah, very.
Yeah, I think he's looking at that lettering going, what have they done?
It's in the way. It's really in the way. He's fisting it. Like he's punching his fist into that, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that was a good one. There we go.
There you go.
Game box chart. Yeah, very good. Next month, Graham. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. Another 10 games.
Another 10. Another tenner. Okay.
It is. I think this is the last one. I think after this, it starts to go down to 4,
it's
3,
the drop off.
2. Yeah. So in score order over the next 2 weeks, we have Chuck Rock. The year's singular gold medal.
Okay. Good on the Amiga, that. I remember
it. Bug Bomber.
Okay.
Bod Squad.
Okay.
Turbo the Tortoise.
Yeah, we mentioned we've had something about that, but
we mentioned that because it was on the cover. It was on the cover tape. This
yeah, that's right.
The Match.
Another football game, bloody hell.
I reckon that's another cult game one. Then we've got League Football.
That sounds like another cult game as well.
That's like we want Premier League football. No, you don't. You want Division 2.
That's the best place. That's grassroots.
I really don't. Then we've got DJ Puff's Volcanic Capers.
Okay. Tragically named, but okay.
Yeah, the Addams Family.
Oh dear, that doesn't get a very good score, does it?
No, and neither does Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
No, it doesn't, for reasons.
I don't remember. I don't think I've ever played that. And then we've got something called Steiger, which I'm hoping is about the life and times of Rod Steiger.
Eye of the Steiger. I hope that's the music in it.
Yeah, because I'd love a game about Rod Steiger. Like, it's just,
it's been waiting to be made for years.
Play in the heat of the night.
It's so random.
Yeah.
Of all the things I thought I'd hear you say during the lifetime of this podcast, I've always wanted a game about Rod Steiger. Was not on that list.
Well, there you go.
It really wasn't.
This is what's happened. This is what's happened after 213 episodes and all these bloody shit games. I was trying to think about what is the percentage of games that are actually good. And I was like, if we've done like 1,600 to 1,700 games, is it one? If it's 1%, what's that? Is that 16?
16.
So there's probably more than that, isn't there? So it must be like 2 to 3%.
Yeah, probably. I'd say between 3 and 3. I'd say between 3 and 5%.
Well, but don't hang on, because 3 to 5% is getting on towards 80 games.
Yeah, well, if you think of all the bread bins we've had, each one of them has a top list at the best of games, doesn't it?
It does.
So each one of and that would account for how many bread bins we've had. 5? So there's at least 25 games there, maybe.
Yeah, not 70.
Yeah, true. No, but I'm thinking there's some that are not shits.
Yeah, true.
But
true.
But the greater percentage of them, it's not a great percentage, is it?
No, I think it's
the overwhelming percentage are shit.
Yeah, I think we'll find this out when we do the final sort of overview of
which goes against the grain, doesn't it? Everyone kept telling us at the beginning how wonderful all the C64 games were, and we've played them and proved it in tests. That's not exactly accurate.
not exactly. It isn't. It's just categorically not. This is where we don't get invited to panels.
Exactly. That's our opinion. Some people might think every game's great. Not me though. I don't agree with that logic, and I never will.
No, true. We tell it like it is. Absolutely.
No, we do.
We're the man on the street. We pull no punches.
Exactly. No, I just, I call it out as I see it, and I've done the same for games that have been great. So, they get equal measure.
Yeah. Well, we've had games that surprised us. Someone, Camel, on the forum we go on the forum I go on, just recently discovered The Train.
Which is a great game. It was a bit of a discovery for all of us, that. Yeah,
absolutely. Which makes me, hopefully, he's not played Project Firestart yet as well. Got that to come soon.
Yeah. And it's making me glad, I have to say, that all of this most recent thing, I've got rid of my C64 by now, and it's making me glad that I did, because if I'd have had a C64 and I'd have been getting any of these games, I wouldn't know how to trade them with people. I'd feel like I was glove slapping all my contacts. They're just going to get angry with me. Stop sending me this shit wares.
What wares have you got for us this week? Well, I've got Seymour at the movies.
No.
I'm stopping trading with you forever.
Exactly. It's like, well, that looks pretty basic. And didn't Oxyron just release a 64-pixel sprite scroller?
Yeah. But I've got a game that's based on the life and times of Rod Steiger.
But that would be worth trading. That's good trade value.
I reckon so. But we'll see what they're all like over the next couple of weeks. We will be back next week. We are back next week, aren't we? You're not anywhere.
Yeah, I think we're back next week. And I just want to do a little shout out to something, actually, just before we disappear.
Do it.
I've come across, there's a couple of things, actually, a couple of YouTubers, and I'm not necessarily a big proponent of the old YouTuber per se, but I've come across a couple. One's a fairly new one that's popped up, and I'm just going to find out what the name was, because I did subscribe to him because I thought it was quite fascinating. So one of them is something called Milosoft or Milosoft. Now, Milosoft has been doing a series of videos on both how to code C64 assembler, which are really good. He's also done a load of tutorials on how to crack, how games on the C64 were cracked and how they went about cracking the various different games. It's a really good new little channel, and I think I quite like his presentation style and way of his style. It sounds a little bit like Bob Ross when he's talking. So there's just a genuine, he's not got quite got the formula right here and there. There's sometimes the audio is a bit loud. He's obviously, quite new at doing some of this, but kudos to the guy. His videos are really good tutorials on how to do things. So if you want to learn how to code raster bars, there's a really good lesson on that, on how to do it. It's very much based around proper assembler as well. So it's not kick assembler. It's actually on a C64 programming and assembler on a C64. I strongly like machine code assembler. So I recommend them. So that's one that I'd strongly recommend. That's Milosoft. Of course, Martin Piper's still pumping out regular videos, so definitely go and check out Martin Piper as well. Definitely worth doing. And then the other one I was looking at was the guy that's decided to convert the C64 audio of Commando, Rob Hubbard's Commando, and he's decided he's going to convert the arcade to play a C64 version of that. So,
what, he's doing the music? He's putting the C64 music over the arcade version of the game?
Yeah, so he's broken down the arcade hardware. There's only a couple of videos on his channel so far, and it's a really deep technical dive into how the arcade works, and he's going to do a full exploration of that, and is doing, with the end goal being that he wants to make a version of the arcade that uses the Rob Hubbard score, or a version that he can convert and play using the sound chip that's on the actual machine itself. I think it's Luxocrates. I think that's why. So it's Luxocrates, Luxocrates. I'll post a link to the channel in the show notes. There's two videos. It's what's inside Commando's sound firmware, and can I put C64 Commando music to arcade hardware? Now, the videos aren't coming out thick and fast, but it's a really interesting channel to watch. And the guy's super technical and super clever. And the videos are really well produced. So just a couple of shout outs. I don't do it very often. But those three people are definitely worth checking out if you're into sort of the C64 stuff, particularly the coding stuff, Martin Piper and our new person in there, because there's some really good stuff that they're doing. So check it out. Check it out. Anyway, I just wanted to shout them out because we don't do that very often, and perhaps we should. Yeah. Well, anything we come across, yeah. But absolutely. Luxocrates. Yeah, I've got it here. Yep, it's definitely worth a watch. Really good videos, really well produced, and the explanations of how the arcade hardware works are exceptional. So, because it's complicated stuff, and he breaks it down and makes it actually pretty palatable. So, go for it. I'd say go for it. All right, good shouts. Well done. Good shout. I think on that note, we'll call it a night. We'll call it a day. We'll call it a listen. Call it whatever you want. Call it a very bad potato. Call it Rod Steiger. Call it whatever you want. Yeah. Just don't call it Seymour. No, don't call it that. So we're going to go. We'll be back next week. We've told you the games that's coming. We start with July. What's left? July, August, September, October, November. Done. 10 more episodes left. Just 10, Graham. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? Once we do next week, we're into single figures. Oh, that is mad. I know. Who'd have thought that? Over 5 years ago. 5 long years. It take this long? It's I'm that woman in the Titanic. Absolutely. We really are. It's been 84 years. Draw me like one of you French girls, Adrian. I'll draw you like Seymour. That's probably more accurate, to be fair. I'll draw you with a slightly off-angle lettering and not use the R in the right way and have to join two letters together for no good reason. I'll hold your that game console of yours. I say, draw me with this, Adrian. Only holding this. Put it lower. Put it lower. For God's sake, lower. Lower down. Turn it on. For God's sake. Absolutely. Golden axe. I can't unsee that. Axe Battler. Battler. Turn round. Knight of the round. It would be as well, yeah. Oh, I don't want to see your metal slug. It's too late. All right, look, we need to go. It's getting to that point of the evening. As ever, I have been Adrian Mills. And I have been Graham, possibly suffering from spec trauma at Raddings. And you've been listening to Seymour at the movies. No, you really haven't. You haven't. See less. See less at the movies. We'll see you again next week. Goodbye. Thank you for listening to the Zapped to the Past podcast. We hope you enjoyed our deep dive into the world of Commodore 64 games, as well as the music, films and TV from around the 1980s, driven, of course, by the issue of Zapped 64 magazine published at that time. We will return with a whole new batch of games and stuff to talk about next week. Until then, if you want to listen to or download previous episodes of Zapped to the Past, and why wouldn't you, they can all be found on our website at zappedtothepast.com, as well as being available on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Deezer, Audible, Player FM, and, well, pretty much anywhere where we can upload them. By the way, we do always love to hear from our amazing listeners, so if you'd like to contact us about anything in the podcast or beyond, you can do so by emailing us at zappedtothepast@gmail.com. We're also active on Twitter under @ZapTother, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and most social media platforms. Just search for Zapped to the Past and you'll find us. Oh, and if you like the podcast and what we're doing, please do like, share, review, rate us. It really helps. Something. Apparently, the Zapped to the Past podcast is written and produced by Adrian Mills and Graham Raddings and recorded at Flaky Bits 2.0 Studio. All opinions expressed are those of the writers, and while we indeed love Zapped 64 magazine, the Zapped to the Past podcast is not affiliated with it in any way. Stay safe, see you next time, and remember, we play these games so you don't have to.